Mariners completed a series sweep of the A's, winning 9-1 on the road and are now in first place in the AL West. We got Game 6 of the OKC and Spurs series tonight at 5:30. Spurs looking to force a Game 7, and the SEC has hinted at the idea of separating from the NCAA if the so-called chaos of college sports does not get reeled in and everyone plays by the same rules.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
So great to have a short show on one day. Watch the Mariners beat up on the A's 9-1 and come back with a dad podcast on a Thursday. I'm Michael Bumpus here with Curtis Rogers.
What's up, Bump?
What up, man? We're in first place now.
That's right.
The Mariners are in first place.
No looking back, right?
No looking back. 9-1. You beat the A's. We saw some great things. Let's just get right into a highlight. This is something that we needed to see from Ref Schneider. 3-run bomb.
Springs and the sunshine comes set. Here's the pitch. Swung on, blasted, left field. It is high, it is deep, it is gone! Rob Refsnyder, 3-run home run, and the Mariners are off to the races. Three-0 lead in the first, thanks to Rob Refsnyder.
So Refsnyder gets this thing going early. There was something that we needed to see when it came to these Mariners, and it was doing some great things against guys like you, lefties.
Yeah, I know. My people have unfortunately dominated the Mariners to this point in the season. Refsnyder even kind of mentioned it. What was it in his post-game press, or not press conference, but his post-game comments with Brad Adam yesterday, where it's like, yeah, I don't blame other teams throwing so many lefties at us because we haven't really shown this year that we can do it. But 9 runs yesterday. They put up the 4 spot in Game 2 of the series. They outscored the A's 22-4 in the 3-game series, Bump. Like, that's total domination.
Yeah.
And this has been such a long time coming for the Mariners this year, a series where they looked so complete in everything that they did. Now, obviously, Monday's game being with the piggyback situation, that was all we talked about on Tuesday was just, all the controversy coming from that. But putting that aside, you look at the result of every single game, like you couldn't ask for a better 3 games, especially coming against a team that was directly above you in the AL West. Now you're in first place. Will we see maybe some more back and forth between the Mariners and A's? Maybe, but I think what this series proved, Bump, is that there is no doubt that when they are playing their best, the Mariners are the best team in the American League West.
Statement series, I like it. And there are a bunch of things that we saw. And quietly, I've been trying to hold back about talking about this young man because I don't want to put pressure on him. And his first hit was a bomb. And slowly but surely, in 10 games, he's put together a nice little campaign. Here's Cole Emerson with a 2-run triple.
Cole Young, the lead at second base. Pareto, a walking lead at first. Springs set. The pitch. Swung on, roped down the right field line. It's down. It's going to the wall. Cole Young steams around third. He stomps on home. He scores. Cortez picks it up. Parada's being waved. He scores. Emerson stands into third. A 2 RBI triple for Cole Emerson. The Mariners 2 more runs. It's 5-0 Mariners.
It's been so fun watching this young guy, right? He comes out, struggles the first game, waits till his parents gets to the stands, hits a bomb, quite a little bit, has 2 doubles and a triple already to his name and a home run. Cole Emerson's been doing his thing.
He has been, and he hasn't looked overmatched at the plate. Yeah, the 4-hit game on Sunday, and then yesterday getting the triple was – I mean, he has looked like a professional hitter. I think the concerns that people had about him was the swing and miss, a little too much at the AAA level, but so far so good. Now – will Major League pitching adjust to his bat? Absolutely. It always does. It has never not worked that way when a guy makes his debut, but he does not look overmatched, which I think is the most impressive thing about his first, week plus at the big league level. It hasn't been like a Jared Kelenic situation where he's scuffling 0 for, 38 to start after, such a good start to his career. No, it has not been that at all. Cole Emerson looks the part, and I think that has been a huge, huge thing for this Mariners team. And look, we have talked about it a lot this season. Like, you're in the hunt for the playoffs. This is a huge year for the Mariners. The expectations have never been higher. You got to have your 26 best guys on your roster. And Cole Emerson, I think, absolutely is one of those, and he's showing more and more every single game as to why he was such a highly rated prospect.
We've had so many things to talk about with this team. You mentioned the piggyback, which has been – I've never said piggyback more the past week ever in my life, okay? Even as a child growing up, that's something we never really talked about, not to this clip. But with all that's been going on with this team, there's a young man in the name of Julio Rodriguez who's quietly has 10 home runs on the year.
Medina set. Here comes the 3-2. Swung on and destroyed. Left center field. It is going to go. Sail away. Julio. 3-run home run. It's all Mariners now. 9-0 over the A's. An exclamation point in the series against the A's. Julio, a 3-run blast. You got to love that.
Julio's having fun, raising the roof as he hits that bomb, rounding the bases, a quiet 10 home runs on the year. You've mentioned it before. He's putting together a great season so far. I like what the young man's doing.
I think the most encouraging thing we've seen from Julio is maybe him kind of stepping more into a leadership role this year, in addition to the early start in terms of when he's going to get hot. May has been his best power month in terms of home runs in his career. He tied his own personal record with 8 in a month yesterday with that home run. But it does feel like he is answering more questions in the clubhouse following each game. It feels like with Cal being out, somebody needed to kind of step into that clubhouse leader role. We don't know what was said in the dugout in Sunday's game when Julio was late to getting to his at-bat in the 9th inning, got an automatic strike called against him. Maybe that turned out to be a good thing. Maybe that was Julio just kind of saying, enough. Like, we are better than this. Like, let's go. Let's do what we need to do. We're so much better than what we've shown ourselves to be. And I think Julio right now has been everything you could ask him to be to this point in the season. Now, people look at the OPS. It's not, 1,000 or anything like that. I don't know if that's ever going to be Julio. Mm-hmm. Now, could he end up getting there one day? Sure. He has all the tools to potentially be that kind of batter, but I think just having that all-around game and then hitting the big 3-run home run yesterday, he is the most valuable guy to this team, and as he goes, this Mariners team's going to go.
I love it. I love seeing 44 do his thing, man. And, on the mound, too. It's nice seeing Logan go out there and put together another quality start. He goes 6 innings, gives up 5 hits, walks 2, and sits down 6 as well. I was looking at his numbers, Curtis, and I asked you, I go, man, didn't Logan have that splitter last year? He's throwing in a lot more this year than he has in the past. And really the third time through the lineup is when we start to see it more. What'd you see out of Logan?
Yeah, I saw a guy who really didn't break a sweat yesterday. Third start in his last 4 that he has ended or that he's left the game without having allowed a run. That is a really good sign, especially when we've kind of been wondering, like, what's going on with Logan? Like, what's up with him? He had not really looked like his old self to start the month of May, but finishing out the month of May, very much reminiscent of Logan Gilbert from what we've seen throughout his entire Mariners career. I really hope that this is a sign of good things to come in the month of June and beyond, because they're absolutely going to need him to be this kind of pitcher, especially atop this rotation. I mean, he's your opening day starter. Your opening day starter can't be having an ERA of 4.5. That's no good. That's not what this team is going to make the playoffs on. You got to have him looking like an ace. And last 2 times out, almost 12 innings pitched, no runs allowed.
Good show coming up for you guys today, man. Jordan Shusterman is going to join us as usual. Ryan Rowland-Smith and Bob Condotta. When we come back, we'll get to headline rewrites. Ian Rappaport has some interesting to say about the Seahawks, and the MLB Players Association submitted their first CBA. And what about that Apple Cup? We'll talk about that next. It's the Bump Stacy Show.
Have you downloaded the Seattle Sports app?
We're going to have a challenge right here.
What are you waiting for?
Listen to this.
Every pitch.
Here comes the 3-2.
Every game.
Swung on and missed. Got him.
One app for free.
How about that, folks?
The Seattle Sports app. Every game.
Julio racing back.
Right in the palm of your hands.
Makes a leap and makes the catch.
Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
They got it. Wow.
The Seattle Sports app.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Do you need a new roof? Then trust your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing to get you taken care of this spring. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and secure $500 off your roof replacement. Right now, you can still take advantage of spring pricing and beat the summer rush. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi. Just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money. A lot. And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Extra, extra, real
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump and Stacy.
This is the Dad Podcast. We got some cash on up, baby. We'll bring it in. We'll get it right to you. We got Curtis Rogers filling in. It's time for headline rewrites. Cash, what we got, baby?
I jumped the gun there. My bad.
All good.
Ian Rappaport says the Seahawks have a robust market and could be sold before the start of the regular season. What's the real headline?
Real headline, I haven't seen anything go from soft to robust this quickly since Sammy Sosa in 1998.
That's very good.
He was juicing, I think.
He had to hem his uniform at the
right.
bicep.
He was so yoked.
He looked like he was wearing football pads on. Like it was crazy what that guy was doing back then. But yeah, this is the market seemed like it was quiet.
Yeah.
But now, according to Ian Rappaport, it's getting active.
Yeah, let me give you that real quick. Here's my understanding of the potential sale of the Seahawks. The market, I'm told, has been robust, and the way it is trending will not be surprised at all. There's a special meeting among NFL owners this coming August. Could have a new Seahawks owner before the season. If all goes perfectly well, could eclipse $10 billion. So ever since Seth Wickersham reported that the market was softer than they thought, things have really picked up steam. New owner potentially coming soon for Seattle.
I think it's interesting maybe where the messaging is coming from, because Rappaport has long been an NFL employee. Now is shifting more towards the ESPN side with the NFL Network ESPN merger. So maybe there's a little bit to be said about that. But it's good news, I think, that the market is heating up for the Seahawks. Whoever it is that does buy this team, hopefully they have unlimited wealth, unlike it seems like Tom Dundon with the Trailblazers, who purchased from the Allen estate. You don't want to have that kind of situation where it does feel like, there are certain things that the franchise can't do because their owner has limited themselves in what they can spend. Money's never been a problem in the 30-plus years that the Allen family owned the Seahawks. I'm hoping that continues to be the case with whoever purchases this team next.
You want someone who just wants to win, too.
Right.
I mean, we're talking about it, me, you, Cash, Cam. A lot of these owners are buying these teams and looking at it as a business, which it is. You want to be profitable and make some money. But at the end of the day, you want your fans to feel like your team has a chance to win a championship. Let's make that the priority.
Headline rewrites.
The MLB Players Association submitted their first CBA proposal to MLB owners on Wednesday. The owners are expected to counter with asking for a salary cap. What's the real headline?
Real headline, and that's no cap.
That's no cap.
I don't think the players will even acknowledge a proposal that has a salary cap. Does it eventually happen? Maybe, but I just think that is a non-starter for the players.
And from what I'm reading, MLB is going to come back and propose a salary cap and a floor. I'm good with the floor. I'm good with the floor.
Yeah.
But the cap, the players don't want that, man. My Dodgers don't want that. The Mets don't want that. The Yankees don't want that.
Well, then, if a cap does get instituted, if you're the Dodgers, are you then going to have to offload a bunch of guys to get under the cap, or at least to avoid paying even more in luxury tax? Because you look at just kind of how it is in the NBA, in the NFL, those two sports have a salary cap, and all of a sudden these players, their money counts a ton towards the salary cap. You're looking at, guys who have cap numbers of, 60, 70, 80 million. What's it? Deshaun Watson's cap number next year is like $90-something million. Like Shohei Ohtani, what he makes, like Juan Soto, what he makes. obviously the Dodgers and Mets are going to do everything they could to keep those guys, but all of a sudden it becomes a lot harder to build a contending team in Major League Baseball, and I don't necessarily think it's going to actually improve the teams that are at the very bottom, especially because they have long not spent. Teams like the Pirates, teams like the Twins, those teams, I don't think the salary cap, unfortunately, will fix every little problem that Major League Baseball has.
No, like I said, I like the floor, and I think the cap does allow for some competitive balance. I think that's what the league is shooting for, especially if the Dodgers go back to back to back this year. But, I mean, you've said it for a while, Curtis. You think in 2027 there will be a stoppage, and if there is a stoppage, that'll be the 10th one in league history. It's starting to feel like it's going down because you read the proposal that the associations put out there, and you read what MLB is probably going to counter with. They're not on the same page.
They have until, I believe, December before the CBA expires, before potential work stoppages. But, yeah, I mean, what was it, 2021 going into 2022, the last time we had a work stoppage? I remember some of those shows we had to do in the middle of all that. It was not fun having to talk labor and all that, and just guys not wanting to play, and it being March and into April and stuff. That was not fun, but hopefully cooler heads prevail, because baseball, I think, is starting to regain a lot of popularity amongst the casual sports fan. You don't want to lose out on that.
Headline rewrites.
The 2026 Apple Cup will be played on Sunday, September 6th at 1 p.m. What's the real headline?
Real headline, a late summer tradition like no other. A Sunday in the summertime.
That's crazy.
Watching the Apple Cup.
The only thing I like about this is that it's week one, and we have more of a chance to win that game because you just don't know.
Week one's a liar, as we like to say.
It's a toss-up. It's gonna be weird. It was already weird last year. What was the game like? September 25th or something like that.
In Pullman, it was. I think it was the last non-conference game those two teams played, and this year it's opening the season.
Open it up. I mean, as long as the game is being played, it's gonna be weird watching this game in shorts and a t-shirt, or having the option to watch it in shorts and t-shirt. I'll probably be working somewhere that weekend. But this right here to me just puts the change of college football in a nutshell to me.
Yeah.
Because when I think of Apple Cup, I think of the snowball, I think of rain, I think of freezing hands and toes, and now you're going to be nice and comfy. You can bring the kids out. Kids won't be shivering and stuff.
Sure. Shorts and a t-shirt, a weird way to watch the Apple Cup. I don't know how many more Apple Cups are scheduled beyond the 2026 series. I believe it is. I don't know if it returns to Pullman anytime soon. I think they would have to kind of renew the series in the next couple of years if they want to continue to play against each other. And I mean, if you're Pat Chun leading the Huskies athletic department, I believe it's 2028 when the Apple Cup expires. You've seen the rivalry from both sides. I feel like, as just a tip of the cap to his time with the Cougs, he'd want to do right and keep that series scheduled. Now, I know Cougs fans cannot stand Pat Chun and think he is Benedict Arnold. He's the biggest traitor of them all, but I feel like it'd only be right for him to at least extend an olive branch and say, thank you for helping me advance my career.
Right. You sure did. I got love for Pat. I know Coug Nation does it, but, people make career choices all the time. Real quick before we get out of here, how about Everett Silvertips are in the semis of the Memorial Cup tomorrow night. If they win tomorrow and Sunday, they're the best junior hockey team in North America. Thank you, 306, for pointing that out. All right, this is the Bump and Stacy Show. We got Curtis Rogers filling in. When we come back, we'll speak to Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman. That is next. Curtis Rogers filling in.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle Sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. And if you've been dreaming of that new deck, you got to get a hold of PCF. Call them before the great weather arrives and their schedule gets totally filled up. With a new deck, patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy the outdoors year-round no matter what the weather brings. And for a limited time, how about this? Get 50% off demolition costs up to $5,000 when you book your project with PCF. Contact People Come First Construction Group for all the details. They designed and built our outdoor living space, and we love it. Start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build this summer. Planning, permitting, and construction can take a little time, so get started today. Get project ideas, browse their amazing photos, and look at all the offer details at pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place with People Come First.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. No guessing, just answers. Over 100,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Take control and protect your long-term health by knowing your numbers. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Feel better. Live stronger. Start now.
Feeling lucky? Don't miss the Lucky Spring Classic collector car, truck, and boat auction. Saturday, June 6th at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Events Center. Up to 200 collector, vintage, and classic vehicles, many going to the highest lucky bidder with absolutely no reserve. Get lucky, get local, and get in line. Visit LuckyOldCar.com for a list and pictures of auction vehicles. Or call 206-467-6531 for bidding and consignment details.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
Around here, we see a lot of people head out. No matter where they're going, we just help make sure they're ready. Before you hit the road, get a pre-trip safety check from Les Schwab Tires. It's free. Plus, this May, save up to $200 on select sets of 4 tires, including all-terrain, highway, all-season, and all-weather. So go ahead, explore with confidence. Les Schwab Tires. We're here to help you take the long way. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
Mariners and Diamondbacks tomorrow at T-Mobile. 7:10 first pitch. Pre-game at 6. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Thanks. Is oil marked down?
Save up to $15 when you buy 5 quarts and a filter.
And fuel treatment?
2 for $9 on Lucas.
Brake pads?
Marked down to free.
Free?
Get free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 Duralast rotors.
That's several markdowns.
For many more miles.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we know you're no stranger to setting big goals, whether in school, at work, or in life, and you're ready for more. At UMGC, we offer the skills-based education you need to move your career forward. Learn how to apply AI, data science, and other emerging tech, plus gain skills in leadership and critical thinking. You've come far. Succeed again. No application fee if you apply by June 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Summer is here, and it's time to break through your weight loss frustrations. Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss, and we have a proven system that can help you lose 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 8 weeks. Whether you need a nutrition plan to complement your GLP injections, or you're like many of our clients who don't want to worry about ongoing monthly costs, giving yourself shots, or uncomfortable side effects. Either way, our program provides the support, accountability, and structured nutrition plan so you can achieve your results for the long term. Schedule your free phone consult at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Look, this plan does work. It's Mike Salk here, and I used Eastside Weight Loss Clinic to lose 35 pounds. Just recently, I heard about one of our listeners who lost 40 pounds. How about that? The plan will teach you lifelong habits to continue eating the food you love while losing weight.
We've helped over 4,000 people lose 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 8 weeks. Come to our clinic in Kirkland or do the program remotely from anywhere you live. Schedule your free phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The Mariners all by themselves in first place in the AL West, and why not bring on our guy from Yahoo Sports, Jordan Shusterman, to talk about this. Jordan, how we doing?
What's going on? Yeah, first place Mariners under 500. Who cares? I'll take it.
It's been a weird year, but they completed 3-game sweep. They were better against lefties this series. We saw some things from Ref Snyder yesterday. Emerson has been looking good. How would you summarize this series?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of exactly what you would want to see, especially considering the stakes. And again, we're still talking about late May, and as we know, there's a long way to go here. But an opportunity to jump ahead of the A's in the standings and then show that in fact the Mariners are the team that belong in first place. And I think they did what they needed to do, and I think they deserve credit.
Jordan, when you look at this series between the Mariners and A's, Bump and I, we were talking about it in the open, and how big of a, I guess, talent gap is there between the Mariners and the rest of the division when the Mariners are playing like this?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, I mean, certainly at full health, they are well ahead of the rest of the pack. Now, granted, you could also say that on their best day, a team like Houston with Hunter Brown on the mound and, Josh Hader pitching, I mean, we've obviously barely seen that version of Houston, not to mention Correa and all the other guys are missing. But even if everyone's healthy on all of these teams, Seattle should still be the best team, not just in the division, but in the American League. And I know we're still a long ways from seeing Seattle at full strength, but I think you can see in a series like this that they still have a lot of really, really, really talented players. See a really much more encouraging showing from Logan Gilbert yesterday. See Julio getting the board with another homer. A lot of positive things happening, even with the roster that still isn't at full strength.
I mentioned to start the show that Julio is putting together a decent season. Curtis pointed out he's not OPS and over 1,000. That might not be who he is. But so far, he's had the best May he's had in his career with 8 home runs. How important is it that Julio, through all this drama, has been able to kind of be consistent?
Oh, for sure. And I think what's so interesting with him is, normally when he's had much colder starts to the season, we just assume there's some ridiculous hot streak coming, and that still might be the case. And if that happens again, where he has, a huge August or second half, you could look up and see, oh, wait a minute, this was the best year of Julio's career just because he has actually produced at a level above what he normally has in the first halves, so far through the first few seasons. So, again, even if he's at this level or a little bit above, that's still a terrific player, especially now that the defense seems to really be rounding back into form, which is really encouraging. We know what he gives on the bases as well. So I still think that there's certainly another level for him to reach this season, and I think there's a lot of positive kind of trends with him so far recently.
One thing about Julio, Jordan, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but it does feel like we're starting to get sort of like clubhouse leader Julio in a way, where in years past it had been Julio, obviously the most talented guy in the room for sure, but maybe not taking that step forward vocally in the dugout or in the clubhouse. What have you made of just kind of everything you've heard from Julio this season, where it seems like he's, stepping to the microphone a lot more. It seems like he's taken on a much bigger role than just, being the star out on the field.
Yeah, I think that's true. And, maybe part of the product of that is Cal being out, right? And it doesn't take anything away from Cal, but I think obviously last year with his performance on field, just his profile being raised, he was rightfully being kind of viewed as the face of the team, the voice of the team. there's a lot of leaders on this team. I think the pitchers that have been there for a long time, guys like Logan Gilbert, like those voices are valuable as well. And then now you have some recent additions like Naylor, who we know are going to be a big part of it. But Julio's seen a lot of stuff in his young career, a lot of outs, a lot of downs, and I think that experience has kind of molded him and put him in position to feel like he can speak on a lot of different matters, and he's kind of coming into his own voice. So it doesn't surprise me at all, and I think he's probably all the more confident to speak up when he's also playing really well.
About 10 games in for Colt Emerson. He's got a bomb. He got some extra base hits. Is he looking more comfortable at the plate? We are assuming there's going to be a regression, Jordan. We're living in reality, but reality also is that he's had a pretty good 10 games. What are you seeing? What do you like?
Oh, for sure. And he had that was it 4 for 4 with 3 doubles not long ago, and I just think the quality of the at bat has just been really encouraging. I think that the maturity at the plate, the defense. I know he's had a couple errors here and there, but still just steadiness and just someone at the bottom of the lineup that can make you sweat. And I think that right now, especially with the lineup still not at full strength, and still now with everybody clicking, like that's exactly what you want. Is you want just someone that can, at the bottom of the order, that can give a really good at bat, whether it's fouling off a bunch of pitches, whether it's driving a ball in the gap. And I mean, you just have to keep reminding yourself how young he is and kind of appreciate how much better he can still get this season than obviously in the years beyond.
Now, Jordan, we've talked all about great things to start here. Now it's time to talk piggyback. We are 2 starts in. Now, the results have actually been really good. 17 innings pitched, 4 earned runs allowed between Castillo and Bryce Miller, but you would not be able to tell that just judging off the conversation from Monday's game. How does this end? Does it end? What is the best outcome you think from this piggyback situation between Bryce Miller and Luis Castillo?
It's such a good question. I frankly don't know exactly how it ends. I'm thinking about it a lot. I'm talking to you guys from Pittsburgh, and I bring that up because the Pirates are actually facing an interesting decision here soon. They have Jared Jones, one of their top young right-handers, coming back from surgery, and they're going to make a decision here today or this weekend about activating him. But they have also, like Seattle, 5 starters that they feel pretty good about, that they're excited about, that they want to give major league innings in a rotation. The difference is that a lot of those guys are much younger. A lot of those guys actually have experienced piggybacks in the minor leagues or coming up, even in the big leagues, more of a role that they're more used to. That's not the situation with Seattle, right? I mean, asking Luis Castillo to do something like this, let alone Bryce Miller, is just totally foreign. And so that's the challenge that they're clearly dealing with. I think as you've seen, I think the reason why the front office wanted to try it is because it has proven to be effective, not just that we've seen these 2 starts, but just like across the league. It is a strategy that makes sense, but it does kind of remove the human element of it in a way that, as we saw, I think has resulted in some difficult conversations. So I'm not really sure where it goes from here. Again, this is also just the reality of this has to do with Emerson Hancock, which is a good thing. I mean, having too many good pitchers should not be considered a bad thing, but it does create a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah, that's probably a dynamic that not too many people are talking about. Like, I don't want to point the finger, but it's a good point of the finger. Hancock, you are the reason why this whole situation is going down, and you're dealing with it. My only concern is just the relationship with the team. You know, when it comes to Castillo and Miller, I feel like Miller being younger will probably be a bit more patient. Castillo being an older guy will be a bit more frustrated. Would you like to go to a 6-man rotation, or do you feel like someone needs to go to the pen?
That's the thing. It's like no matter what decision you're making, you're going to be asking someone to make some sort of adjustment. And I have to imagine that these conversations have probably pushed the front office in some sort of direction where they are going to decide, okay, either we are pushing guys back, we're getting fewer starts from the Kirbys and the Woos, or like, are these guys going to be more upset if you just go to Bryce Miller and say you're a reliever? If you go to Luis Castillo and say you're a reliever, like, is that going to make him more or less happy than what has been going on? I don't know. These are all the things that it's easy to kind of just look at these brief snippets from the outside and be like, oh man, he looks really pissed, or oh man, he's reacting this way. There's so many more conversations going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to that are probably going to inform the direction that they go with this.
Well, and this is also kind of, we have not seen these kinds of issues pop up in years past with the Mariners because you just haven't had a roster, I think, as deep as this one. Is this just kind of a byproduct of, having as much talent as the Mariners had? I mean, you look at the Dodgers over the last, few years. They've had like 8-9 quality starters in their organization, and they've been able to balance it out, I guess. Maybe they are a little more maybe they approach the season having had that more in mind than the Mariners right now because of Emerson Hancock being so good. But when you look at just kind of, it's not just in the rotation either. It's also with J.P. Crawford and Colt Emerson, and what do you do when Brendan Donovan's healthy? Like, are these good problems to have, or is this just kind of like, something good teams just deal with?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, I have thought about it's like, why does this feel so unique? And yes, roster strength and depth should be considered a good thing. I think you point to the Dodgers. It's also sometimes it's just circumstance. Like you mentioned, the Dodgers have had 1 million starters. How often have all of them been healthy at the same time? Essentially never. And so it's almost kind of worked itself out in that sense where it's always been kind of obvious who should be in the rotation and who shouldn't. But also for teams like them, like it's way easier to tell a lot of the guys. It's like, listen, like, what are you going to say to the Dodgers that they're doing something wrong? Because yes, the players care about their own careers and want to think forward. And I think that the Mariners have earned a lot of trust from we know what we're doing. We are winning. We are moving in the right direction. There's still an element where it's like, there's not that many teams that can earn the trust of players to that degree to where you're not thinking like, oh, I'm getting screwed. I should be in the rotation. I bet. And whatever, all these players should be confident. All these players should believe they belong in the rotation. There's nothing wrong with that. But it is something that you literally have to manage, and that comes down to Dan Wilson. That comes down to the front office. So, and it's also good that you point out the J.P. Crawford situation, which, as we've already seen, he's been proactive in trying to embrace that in a more positive, productive way. That said, there is still going to be some difficult conversations, probably, or difficult alignments when Brendan Donovan comes back. So all of it's part of it. You'd still rather have the good players than not have the good players. And I think that is still a perspective that most fans should keep. But it is an interesting subplot of the season for sure.
Hey, Jordan, stepping out of Seattle and just talking about baseball in general, the Players Association put their proposal out there, and it sounds like MLB is going to counter with a salary cap, a salary floor. What do you see? How do you see this thing ending up? Curtis has been projecting for a while now that 2027 might not look too good. They're having to, December 1st to kind of get this thing figured out. What do you know about the situation, and what do you think will happen?
Man, I mean, we are just at the beginning. I think that we've already been kind of projecting and speculating on how these conversations are going to go for a while now, just because we know it's going to be so contentious. And I think in these early stages where we are getting reports about how the negotiations are going, I think it's just important for fans to just always keep in perspective that all of it is just messaging and PR at this stage. I mean, yes, they're negotiating, but no one is expecting them to come to a deal anytime soon. So right now it's about making very clear your positions. And obviously what MLB is trying to do is communicate something that a lot of fans have communicated, that they have to fix competitive balance somehow. And the way to do that is to cut down on spending and to put in a salary cap. Whereas players are saying, well, look, this is not the problem with competitive balance here. We have to have, teams, especially at the bottom, spending to be more competitive and to show their fans that they actually do care about competing. So at this stage, though, it's all about both sides really getting their messages out there. And I think we're going to find out over the next, 6, 7, 8 months and then beyond, once it expires and we get into the winter and it's a lockout that the owners are likely to put into place, where the fan sentiment is and kind of how people are responding to that. But we are just at the beginning of this, that's for sure.
You mentioned competitive balance, and it has not been very competitive in interleague play this year between the American League and National League. Mariners have 2 interleague series coming up against a red-hot Diamondbacks team that has won, I believe, 9 of 10. When you look at just kind of the gap between the National League and the American League, is that kind of a byproduct of the National League, I think, having more teams that are all in terms of spending, like the Phillies and the Dodgers? The Cubs have been spending pretty big lately. The Braves have a pretty high payroll. The Mets. Is that maybe the biggest cause for the gap between the National League and American League right now?
That's a good question. I'd have to dig on that a little bit more. Obviously, we get more interleague than ever now with the balanced schedule, but we're still talking about a pretty small sample. So that is a really interesting trend, and we'll see if it holds up over the remainder of the season. That said, I mean, some of those teams are pretty bad. So I don't know what the Mets interleague record is at this stage, but we know their overall record isn't very good. And there's still some big spenders in the American League that are also disappointing as well. Teams like Boston and so forth. So it's an interesting one. I mean, interleague play certainly become much more relevant and a normal part of our experience, but I am curious to see how that holds up over the whole season.
Last one for me, Jordan. What more do you need to see? What's missing from the Mariners? And I look at this series, and I always want to applaud sweeps and wins and performances and all that stuff. And then I always look at the competition and say, okay, well, maybe they were supposed to do that. From your view, what do you think still needs to be done with this Mariners team?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, obviously getting healthy and getting Cal back in the mix and kind of rotating Donovan back in is going to be really important. I think now, especially getting Spire back is huge. Brash back, he started to look really good. Getting the bullpen really set to where you're not relying on the starting pitching, however the starting pitching shakes out, so that you kind of know that the whole pitching staff is functioning together. I think that's really important. And then I think that the offense will follow once that starts to get more healthy. You have guys like Julio playing well, Randy playing well. So to me, it's getting the bullpen sorted, getting those guys in a groove to kind of take the pressure off whatever's going on in the rotation. And then I think the offense will follow once it warms up and that they're back at full strength.
He's Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman. Jordan, we appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you, guys.
All right, man. Jordan hit us with a whole bunch of knowledge, man. Something that he said to me was that there may be another level that Julio can reach.
I hope so. And I think we could potentially see that as the year continues, as we get further and further into the year, because historically that has always been Julio's MO, is that once you reach the summer months, and we are, 3 days away from reaching June, which I would consider a summer month, even though the weather here in Seattle usually doesn't start to become summertime weather until July. But I think if Julio does reach that next level, I think you're talking about him potentially in the MVP conversation for sure in the American League, because, I mean, you look at what he's done already, just kind of getting off to the start that he's at. If he continues to hit at this pace, I don't think it's out of the question that he's got 20-plus home runs by the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
And then we know what he's like in August and September. Then you're looking at a guy hitting probably like 35, maybe even close to 40 home runs by the time the season wraps up. I mean, what you and I think, was it Cal or was it Julio where we said we thought he could get like 36, 37 home runs? I want to say it was maybe Julio.
I think it was Julio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. Now, he's got to stay healthy. He's got to maybe avoid falling into those prolonged slumps that we've seen him get into. But I feel more confident in Julio right now than maybe I've ever felt in him turning it on at any point during his previous, 4 or 5 years in the bigs?
So this isn't it's kind of from Jordan, but I'm going to take it from the text line. 253 says, whenever they do pass the salary cap in baseball, they will give teams a ridiculous amount of time to get under the cap, like a 10-year window. What do you think about that?
I don't know if it'll be that.
Be another CBA by then.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's going to take them. I don't think they're going to give teams that kind of grace period. I think it's going to be maybe a 1 or 2 year window in order to get underneath that cap. And then you're going to see a ton of player movement. You're going to see a lot of teams take on a lot of bad contracts, I think, especially the teams that are not at the salary floor. It would remind me, Bump, of, I want to say it was 2012 in the NBA when they instituted that amnesty clause, and then also they had the stretch provision where you could release a player and then spread his salary out over time if he was making a ton of money. Let's say, he was still owed $100 million. You could stretch that out over 5-6 years instead of having to drop the $100 million immediately upon that player's release, or the amnesty clause where they allowed teams to just outright release players and that contract would be off their books. The player would still get their money because it was, I believe the league was like, we'll pay out the rest of these salaries. Don't worry about it. I don't know if that's something Major League Baseball would do, but they're going to have to get creative if they do want to institute a salary cap in order to get some of these teams like the Mets and the Dodgers underneath it. Now, I think a salary cap in Major League Baseball should probably be, if they do institute it, I think it still should be pretty high.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you could survive, or I don't think you'd get the best quality play if it was limited at like $200 million. I think you got to put it at like $300 million, something like that. That way you can still have a lot of these teams, being really good and really competitive.
You still got to pay your stars too.
Right.
Imagine a star making X amount of dollars one year and then being asked to take a $10 million pay cut on that season the next year. It's just it's not realistic. It can't be too dramatic. It can't be something to where players don't even want to go out there and then lace them up anymore. But, yeah, I thought that was interesting. So the last 3 games, right? I know this is one series. So I go back and let's look at the last 3 games of what the Mariners have done. All right, so slugging overall, they're 17th. Last 3 games, they were 5th. On base percentage, 17th. Last 3 games, 9th. Average, 24th. Last 3 games, 4th. And OPS, 16th. Last 3 games, 5th. How do they keep this rolling against their next one? Who they got next?
They got the D-backs.
The D-backs. How they looking? And you think they can keep this rolling?
Diamondbacks are a really good team right now. They've won 9 of 10. Now, the interesting thing about the 10 games that they've played, it's all come against the Rockies and Giants, 2 teams that are not very good. But I think this Diamondbacks team does have a lot of talent on it, led by Corbin Carroll, who has been just phenomenal again to start this season. They've got really good bats in their lineup. Ketel Marte, obviously. This is going to be a big test for the Mariners because what we have seen a lot from the Mariners this year, Bump, is that they have had these stretches where they've gained a little bit of momentum and have not been able to capitalize it, especially capitalize it coming home. They have not been good at home over the last few homestands. You got to see it. And now, looking at the Diamondbacks and mentioning that they have beaten up on bad teams, that's something that good teams do. Prior to this stretch that the Diamondbacks have been on, they were under 500. They were 21-23 prior to winning 9 of their last 10. So, are they what they were prior to this 10-game stretch? Potentially, but, I mean, you look at the talent in that lineup, I think this might actually end up being a closer estimation of what they could be over the course of a season. So it's going to be really tough. The Mariners absolutely have to protect home field in this series because if let's say you take 2 of 3 from the Diamondbacks, you've got a really slumping Mets team coming into town, a Mets team that could be packing it in pretty soon. So I think you've got to absolutely take advantage of this situation that's coming.
The Diamondbacks just did what we ask or hope that the Mariners would do or could do, is take care of the teams you're supposed to take care of. And that schedule was crazy. I just looked at it. Colorado Giants, Colorado Giants. I mean, they knew each other so well by that point. But no, this is a good opportunity for these guys, and we shall see. All right, so the last time this is the last time I'm going to say this word for today, okay?
Okay.
The last time we saw the piggyback, it worked.
Are you sure you're going to say it? Because we have Ryan Rowland-Smith coming up.
Oh, you're right. All right, I'll give myself 2 more times. 2 more times to say it. I'm not going to say it again. But the last time we saw that situation, it worked. Are we going to see it against the Diamondbacks?
I believe so. Sunday is when it would be scheduled to happen. I think Adam Jude of the Seattle Times wrote yesterday that it is that's the plan. And he also wrote that it sounded like Dan Wilson and Jerry DiPoto have met privately with Bryce Miller and Luis Castillo to kind of get all the information out there and get them on the same page with it.
That's what we need. Just clear communication.
It's the most frustrating thing because, like, the results have been excellent. You have got a 2.12 ERA out of your number 5 starter. The last 2 starts out there, unfortunately, no one's happy. No one is excited about what could potentially be on Sunday.
You know what? I don't think it's that, but it sounds selfish. But great athletes are selfish.
Sure.
They're egotistical. They're self-centered. They are selfish. They want to be the guys. So that's what makes this thing so weird is that I understand where you're coming from, but it's helping the team out. Let's just let's try it out one more time and see how this thing unfolds. All right, more baseball talk. When we come back, we'll be joined by Mariners analyst Ryan Rowland-Smith live on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. We got Curtis Rogers filling in. This is Bump Stacy.
Have you downloaded the Seattle Sports app?
We're going to have a challenge right here.
What are you waiting for?
Listen to this.
Every pitch.
Here comes the 3-2.
Every game.
Swung on and missed. Got him.
One app for free.
How about that, folks?
The Seattle Sports app. Every game.
Julio racing back.
Right in the palm of your hands.
Makes a leap and makes the catch.
Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
They got it. Wow.
The Seattle Sports app.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafee, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. Improve your play with 40% off installation or 0% financing for 60 months with equal payments. And we're giving back with 2 $5,000 scholarships for our local youth sports teams. Upgrade your home today at PellaPNW.com.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, ambitious dreams don't need a big payment. Lease the 26 Corolla Gas for just $219 a month or the hybrid for $249 a month with only $29.99 due at signing. The Corolla Cross Gas at $269 a month with $29.99 due at signing. Or level up to the Camry at $299 a month with $39.99 due at signing. All 3 leases, 36 months. Whether you're in the north or the south, they got you covered. Visit ToyotaKirkland.com and ToyotaRenton.com. Offers valid through June 1st, 2026 on approved credit through TFS. Excludes taxes, titles, license, dealer accessories, and $200 negotiable dealer documentation fee.
Lumen Field on Seahawks game days is your key to unlocking premium hospitality, views, and experiences. Host a memorable event in your own private game day suite. Or see an up-close, unique perspective from sideline and end zone field seats. To learn more about all the ways you can elevate your Seahawks game day at Lumen Field, visit Seahawks.com/premium.
The Mariners are all about giving you more baseball for your buck. With Mariners Value Games, you can score seats for less than $12 on select dates all season long. Plus, be sure to check out the biggest ever value menu and beer lineup. Available every game and featuring 36 items. From ballpark classics like hot dogs, nachos, and refillable sodas to canned brews starting at just $5. Go to mariners.com/value to grab your value game tickets and check out the full slate of value options at T-Mobile Park.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Got any markdowns on oil?
We've got many markdowns on oil.
How about on that new STP Any Mileage?
You'll save $5 when you buy 5 quarts of STP Any Mileage with an oil filter and get up to 5,000 miles of protection.
Heck of a markdown for quite a lot of miles.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Progressive provides protection for your boat and other outdoor vehicles so you can explore new things.
Oh, I can finally try pesto.
We meant like water skiing.
I've just never had pesto.
Or maybe take the boat somewhere new.
I mean, is pesto spicy or sweet? Oh, guess we'll find out, right?
Right. Bundle home or auto insurance with your boat, RV, or motorcycle and stay protected with Progressive while you explore.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not ready for pesto.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners completed a series sweep of the A's, winning 9-1 on the road and are now in first place in the AL West. Game 6 of the OKC and Spurs series is tonight at 5:30. Spurs looking to force a Game 7. And the SEC has hinted at the idea of separating from the NCAA of so-called chaos of college sports doesn't get reeled in and everyone plays by the same rules.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. This is the Bump and Stacy Show. We got a special edition. It's the Dad Podcast today. We got Curtis Rogers filling in for Stacy as she's off doing whatever it is that she's done. We're waiting to get connected to Ryan Rowland-Smith. We're going to talk some baseball to my guy and see what he thinks about this Mariners team that is now all alone in first place in the so competitive AL West.
And I mean, it's competitive. I wouldn't say it's like great or anything, but hey, glad to have them back in first place today. It was a long time coming for sure, and you kind of hope that like with them kind of climbing this mountain, that everything, all the struggles that happened in the season's first couple of months, maybe they're behind you. I don't know, but you know, hopefully it will continue to build off the momentum gained here in this series against the A's.
Yeah, it was good to see. Good to see them check some boxes, right? I had some notes down. I was like, this is the most that I've ever had to say about a player. Like several players. We got JP, who averaged 357 during that series. Julio had 4 RBIs. Randy had a 3-hit game. Naylor had a multi-hit game in all 3 of those games. Ref Snyder had a home run, first since April. Got Robles with a 3-hit game on Tuesday. Then Emerson, 4 extra base hits and 6 RBIs. He's just, it's been fun to see everyone contribute to this group project, man. I think that is what you're going to need. Everyone's going to have to contribute. And at the same time, the guys on the mound have been good as well.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the starting pitching that they've gotten outside of the piggyback scenario, which I'm sure we're going to talk quite a bit here with Ryan Rowland-Smith. And I think you look at guys like Logan Gilbert and what they've been able to do. I think, you know, that is a really good sign of what could potentially happen here for this Mariners team of guys like him getting back on track.
Yeah, so we're still waiting to connect to Ryan. Ryan, can you hear us? No, nothing yet. All right, we'll figure this whole thing out. I want to know with Ryan, at what point of his career would he been okay with the piggyback situation? And you know, Ryan has said himself, like, you know, towards the end, you get older, you kind of feel things are changing, and you know that moves need to be made. But he's a pitcher, and I'm sure he might have spoken to guys who have been in that situation or been on teams with guys in that situation. It's just so weird, man, because I think baseball might be the only sport. Well, not the only sport, because other sports are substitutions, right? In basketball, you come out for 4 or 5 minutes. In football, you might be in for a certain package when it comes to plays. And you know what the situation is, and you're more accepting of it. But starting pitching is something different. That's like being a quarterback out there in a 2-quarterback system. And you know what the rule is. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one at all. But this is a bit different. So it's a different dynamic, something I've never dealt with before.
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation where you don't really know how this is going to end, and it's just really confusing, and we have no idea how this situation will unfold over the next couple of weeks. We know we'll see it again on Sunday, but it should be one where, I mean, the results we talked about at Bump have been actually not that bad. It's just the whole situation of balancing people's feelings, of balancing the egos of a lot of guys who have shown that they can be effective starters at the big league level. Unfortunately, somebody I think is going to have to maybe bow out of this competition if the Mariners can ultimately get to where they want to go.
I like what the 509 said. A sub 500 post Memorial Day first place Mariners was not on my bingo card, but here we are. Sometimes you just got to roll the punches. Sometimes you got to take what you can out of this team. But the positive is that they've won, 5 out of their last 7, 6 out of the last 4. They're moving in the right direction. And like we mentioned earlier, a real test is going to be against the Diamondbacks, a team that has won 3 or 4 series in a row against the same 2 teams. But it is what it is. Can you bring your game back home? I believe at home they're under 500, 14 and 15. And I believe we have Ryan Rowland-Smith joining us now. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing well, fellas. How we doing?
We're doing good. You get a series sweep. The run differential was on point. You get performances by Logan that was good to see. You got Colt Emerson who's playing some good ball. Julio went yard. It feels good, but I still look at that A's logo and say, all right, well, you did it against those guys. Can you? Can the game still travel?
Yeah, well, you know what, Bump, I hear you, dude, because traditionally you look at the Athletics playing in Sacramento in front of, those 10,000 people there yesterday, I believe, and you think, well, hey, big deal. But let's not forget, man, that's a top 5 offense, especially 1, 2, and 3, Carlos Cortez, Nick Kurtz, and Shea Langoliers, and they completely shut him down. They absolutely dominated him. And when you do that to teams and good offenses like that, when you have your strength beating their strength, in other words, starting pitching, which is out the gates with coming out of spring training, that was your foundation. That's your strength. When you do that to, like I said, a top 5 offense, man, that's a great sign. And then on top of that, too, you did run into a rookie on that second game. But the pitching's not that bad either with the Athletics. The bullpen's not very good, but you beat the starting pitching, early runs. You bounce back from the World Series. There's so much to like about those last 3 days in Sacramento, man. I think it's a real momentum builder.
What does it say to you about how good the pitching was in that ballpark? Because that ballpark has been a launching pad.
Great point. And, Gary Hill Jr. and I were doing radio. Seriously, I'm not joking. On the Friday before that first game, some wind was howling, man. I'm telling you, I had some PTSD because I've pitched there plenty pitching in the PCL. It's like, I don't remember the wind so much, but I do remember the ball flying out of there and just like getting up in, getting above that first deck and then the atmosphere taking it. But that's a great point because here you are on the flip side of it on that Friday night. The Mariners put up a bunch of runs. They got the ball in the air and the ball was just leaving with ease, right? Pretty much every day. And you have a situation where, you have some inconsistent pitching, I'll call it that, with the rotation. And the home run ball has been an issue, man. Like, okay, I'll put it this way. Logan Gilbert, 90% of the runs he's given up in the month of May before that start were via the home run. So, 3-run bombs, solo shots, the whole bit. And I'm sitting there going, man, this on a day game like this, some guts to win. So it speaks a lot. It speaks volumes. It's huge. Look, the Luis Castillo, the 4 innings looked really good. And again, he's I'm telling you, he's been a victim of the home run ball too. Bryce Miller's been next level this year. But yeah, absolutely, dude. It makes a huge difference when you can dominate. And again, I keep going back to that. I was so impressed. Leadoff hitter, Nick Kurtz, Shea Langoliers, when you can shut down, just like Bobby Witt with the Royals, when you can shut down those pieces, I'm telling you, when you're in that dugout, that Athletics dugout, and you're winning that division, you look around and go, oh, okay, well, that's all we got. That just got dominated. Now what do we do? So it was massive, man. Huge.
Baseball is one of the few sports where you can really add something to your game, right? In football, you get to NFL, you're not going to get much faster. You are who you are. And maybe you can get a little stronger, but I've noticed that Logan, added the splitter to his repertoire last year and has leaned on it a bit more this year. What have you seen out of Logan, that pitch, and just overall?
Well, okay, so going back a couple of years ago, I want to say even 2023, right? He started throwing that, but it was just exclusive to lefties. That was it. He had a start against the Braves a few years back, and I've talked to him about this a couple times. He threw a couple to righties early, got swing and miss, and then all of a sudden that was then his out pitch. Fast forward to 2026, he's figured out this changeup where he feels way more comfortable being around the strike zone, right? And the whole goal this year in 2025 was to be more efficient, more soft contact on the ground. And the changeup was supposed to, be the answer, and with the cutter as well. And then I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, all right, you just went from a place where you had the highest swing and miss rate, the highest strikeout rate. You're a top 5, top 10 in the league, even though 2025 was a little bumpier than 2024, let's be honest, with him, with some injuries and just performance. Yet you still have that big weapon, and that's the strikeout rate. You then take that away by taking away the split, which he did. In the first month of the season, he didn't throw it. He went changeup because it has a better field pitch, could command it better, what have you. Then all of a sudden, leading into that Royals game, that Royals start, I said, man, like if we could just see a little bit of elevated heater with the split combination like we saw a couple of years ago, you know what, you can have all your efficiency and all your weak contact or whatever, but let's see the Logan version where you're 32% strikeout rate. Like, where's that gone? And when you look at heat maps too, by the way, just on that heater, there's nothing at the top of the zone. So the fastball elevated with the split, it's deadly. When he had that Royal start, all of a sudden he was way more, I'm not going to call it conventional, but way more simplified. Elevated heaters with that 6'6" extension down the mound and splits to go with it. Guys are missing by 3 feet. Then he carried that over. He found a little bit with the Royals game, carried that over into yesterday. And lo and behold, man, you break that thing out, that split, first at bat, first time through the lineup. And I've sat on that bench as a starting pitcher, and you listen to the conversation. They all walk in and go, man, they make comments about that split. Hey, what'd you see? Hey, man, that split, man, it looked like it was going to be in the strike zone, just disappeared, or whatever. Sometimes they're trying to, have their teammates back say, hey, yeah, I could see the split, but make sure you see it up or some rubbish. Doesn't matter, man. You instill that in the back of your mind. Round 2, round 3 against these hitters, I'm telling you, they cannot sit on pitches. In my opinion, it was the four-seam and changeup to me were a little too similar. Same tunnel where they can make more contact. I love this version, man. If he can get elevated hitters a little bit more often and the split, dude, that's Logan Gilbert. And again, if it takes 4.5 to 5 pitches per at-bat, out the gates with that, fine. Don't lose some efficiency. I don't care. But go back to that. Your confidence goes through the roof. And that version that we've seen the last couple of years from Logan, leading all of baseball in innings, hey, have at it, man. I love that version.
Ryan, the results of the piggyback have actually been pretty good if you look at the numbers, 4 earned runs in just 17 innings. But, again, the Mariners treating both pitchers with oven mitts. Obviously, it sounds like feelings may have been hurt here this week with Luis Castillo's reaction in the dugout on Monday, Bryce Miller's post-game comments to your best buddy, Brad Adam. When you look at just kind of the delicate line that the Mariners are trying to toe here, are somebody's feelings going to have to get hurt in order for the Mariners to kind of reach their ceiling in that rotation?
Yes, Curtis, I'm glad we're talking about this. I was like, are you guys going to avoid this piggyback conversation that everyone seems to just be flying around on? This is what cracks me up. Okay, so I've said to you guys, not a fan of it, but you don't have any choice. That's the deal. You've got 6 really, really good starters, and Emerson Hancock has literally been one of the, if not the best starter in this rotation. You got Brian Wu as an all-star. You got Logan Gilbert, your opening day starter. You got George Kirby, who, in my opinion, still is going to be up there with Cy Young votes. You've got 6 of these dudes. What do you do? And this is what cracks me up when I see these reactions and these videos on social media. Luis Castillo, first of all, the piggyback comes out, and everyone's kind of, I don't like it, this, that, that. But what do you do, right? Then all of a sudden they flip-flop it, and Luis Castillo gets a start. No one's happy. Oh, why is he starting? Then he goes out and goes 4 shutout, looks good. And everyone's like, why are you taking him out of the game? It's like, what do you want? Like, put your GM hat, not you, Curtis, by the way. I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at these reactions. Right? Everyone who's texting in probably blowing up right now. But put your GM hat on. What do you do? Now everyone goes, oh, well, the 6-man rotation. And I've said this is the base of this. And a six-man rotation is what eventually could happen when you have this string of this schedule where you don't have any off days coming up once they hit the road again. All right, fair enough. But if that's the case, have at it. You cannot afford to take away 5 starts from your frontline dudes. Brian Wu, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert. You cannot afford to take the value out of that when you're talking August and September and they're going to lose starts. And then all of a sudden you're diminishing that when you're trying to figure out some of these other guys. I'm sorry. The other thing is too, all right, you're going to upset some feelings with 2 dudes. I get it. It sucks, man. Bryce Miller's got a team option at the end of the year. He wants to bank as many starts and be dominant. So he gets that $6 million team option at the end of this season. You got Luis Castillo, who's the rock, dude. Like, he's never pitched out of the bullpen in regular season before this. I totally get it. You're going to upset some people. Put your GM hat on. What are you going to do? So it cracks me up. Luis Castillo gets taken out. Everyone's, oh, why are they taking him out? Well, the reason they're taking him out is because Bryce Miller's coming off the IL, and he's been stretched out, right? You have an oblique injury. He's been stretched out. You don't want to mess with that where all of a sudden he's gone 55 pitches, then he's going 80. You will cause another injury, and you need Bryce Miller. You're going to need the 6 of these dudes down the stretch, right? You may even need one of them for trade bait at the deadline, perhaps, if you feel like you're willing to sit on 5 dudes. To me, it just cracks me up, man. I get this, oh, why is Luis starting? Then he gets taken out. Why'd they take him out? Oh, he's upset. Of course he's upset, man. He's competitive. But, dude, you get taken out of the game, man. You don't care. Like, you got more energy left in the tank. You're going to take it out on slamming your hand in the bench. I used to tear up a clubhouse after I came out, and I didn't have close to the stuff they had. That's just how it was. It just cracks me up, man. All these reactions and these people who are like, out there making these videos about blowing up about this piggyback. You don't have a choice in this situation because you've got 6 frontline dudes, man. It does my head in.
I would have been more concerned if Castillo was in the dugout smiling, having a cup of tea.
Thank you. Thank you. You get it?
I appreciate it. I'm like, he wants to play, man. I get it. I understand
100%.
it. 100%. Ryan, man, we appreciate your time, your enthusiasm for the game, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That was Ryan Rowland-Smith. Yeah, man, you be hot taking me out the dang game. I've never been taken out the game and be like, all right, that's fine.
It's funny you mentioned that because Luis Castillo in his career has been just so flatline.
Yeah.
Like, he has been very cerebral, just unmoved by, the ups and downs of a baseball season. I think that's one thing that we've all appreciated about him. And I think that's also what made Monday night so out of character for him because we have not really seen that passion out of him before. But, he was humming right along, 4 shutout innings.
Mm-hmm.
And then also taking him out after 4 innings means he's not in line for a win. I think we talked to Bob Nightingale earlier this week about the whole situation. He's like, wins still matter to these starting pitchers.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, that's like a bargaining tactic that you're going to use in contract negotiations and whatnot. Like, pitcher wins may not matter to the fan anymore, but they matter a whole lot to these guys in that clubhouse.
Yeah, for sure. So we're with you, Ryan, with you 100%. Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down to you, Bump. Why do you think the SEC needs to pump their brakes a bit on trying to break apart from the NCAA?
Kirby Smart and his president over there in Georgia were talking about, listen, if we were to break away, Alabama, Georgia conference championship would draw so many eyes, and they're probably not wrong when it comes to that. And the reason why they want to break away or have the idea of breaking away is because of the expansion, right? Everyone's not on the same page when it comes to the expansion and the NIL rules or whatnot. All these rules, everyone needs to play under the same rules as what they are saying. Here's what I say to the SEC. If this were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, we're having this conversation, you probably pull a bit more weight. SEC, you are no longer the best conference when it comes to football. All right, the Big Ten runs this. The Big Ten, they're 4-0 against the SEC when it comes to college football playoffs. Overall, they got a better record against the SEC, 94-87-7. Not a lot, but I'm just saying, SEC, you are waiting two or 3 years too long before you want to throw your weight around. The Big Ten has won the last 3 college football championships, and they just won NCAA men's basketball championship. You can break away, do your thing, but you're not giving your athletes an opportunity to legitimately compete for a national championship. And that is why we do it, especially if you're the SEC, a conference that has dominated for a very long time. I do agree with them. Everybody needs to play under the same rules. Let's figure this whole thing out. But don't threaten like you're the big dog in town anymore, because you're not. The Big Ten, they run this.
Second down. All right, Bump. Why is Jackson Dart a perfect example of what an NFL locker room truly is like?
Listen, man, in that NFL locker room, you got guys from everywhere. Down south, from east, west, Midwest. And Jackson Dart did something his teammate didn't agree with. He went out and introduced the President of the United States. Whatever you feel the way you want to about him. But listen, this is what people need to understand. In a locker room, you are going to work with someone that outside of that locker room, you have nothing in common with. You probably don't like his politics. His family probably wouldn't like you. You wouldn't like his family. Before that 6 hours you are in that facility, in that locker room, you're forced to work with each other. And it is what it is. That's why you don't ask certain questions. That's why you don't get into someone's personal life, really, if you know you're not going to agree with them. So, yes, the Giants went through some stuff. Abdul Carter said something about Jackson Dart on Twitter or X. They have a team meeting in the locker room. They squash it. You get over it. This is football. You just look at the main characters on this football team, right? Let's go with Sam Darnold. Let's go with Jay Reed. Let's go with Julian Love. Let's go with Jackson Smith and Jigba. Everybody is different. They're just different. It's impossible for everyone to think the same and believe in the same things when you have 70 guys in a locker room. So that drama with Jackson Dart, I couldn't care less about it. It is what it is. This is football. You're not agree with everybody. Just get over it. I got you guys winning how many games this year? We got to win 10 games this year?
10.
All right, focus on winning 10 games this year. Not as someone is introducing the President of the United States. I don't care.
Third down. Bob, what recent roster moves show the Seahawks are leaving no stone unturned?
All right, so they just added Irv Charles, and they're excited about it. And they're like, fans are like, Irv Charles? Who is Irv Charles? He was a wideout for the Jets. Was hurt last year, didn't play much. But he only has 53 offensive snaps. But he does have over 400 special team snaps. The Hawks ain't playing when it comes to special teams. They drafted Emmanuel Henderson as well. He's a special team specialist. This is what I love about this team. You don't typically hear about teams going and get special team guys who can run down, be a gunner, and make tackles. Typically, you're looking at your kickers, your punters, your long snappers, and saying, okay, that's our investment. We'll fill in the gaps with whoever's on the roster. That's not the way the Hawks operate. They actually go and get gunners and tacklers, so their special teams is on point. They have the best special teams units in the game last year, and they do not want to let up. I like the move. Is Irv going to be on the team later? We'll see. He still has to do some things to make himself valuable. You got to go out there and at least know what you're doing offensively. But I like the fact that the Hawks genuinely draft and trade for gunners and tacklers, guys on special teams to go make plays. That's why they've been so successful. They don't leave any stone unturned.
Fourth down. All right, Bump. Which NFC West team is digging themselves into a deeper hole and they cannot afford to?
Arizona Cardinals don't have a starting quarterback at their camp right now at OTS. You're a starting quarterback. There's Carson Beck is over there.
Need one of those.
I think Gardner Minshew is there as well. But you don't want those guys to start. You want Jacoby Brissett to start. And Jacoby's asking for starter type of money. And you go ahead and ask for your money. You try to get it. I don't think you're going to get $25-30 million. But Arizona, y'all got to figure some stuff out. No one expects you to do anything this year. You're going to be the bottom of the barrel in the NFC, at least that's what I predict. Last year, they had the Hawks at the bottom of the barrel and Arizona finishing in front of them. So, yeah, it's just it made me laugh a little bit to where I don't think there's any team in the country right now that has not seen their starting quarterback at least a couple of times at OTAs. Even Lamar Jackson came back and said, all right, we'll get this thing going. So, yeah, Arizona Cardinals, you're in a dark place, and good luck to you. It ain't looking good.
Wandering the desert.
The desert.
They are in a bad spot.
Yeah, it is. Thankfully, you know what? You guys got a lot of great golf courses out there.
Sure.
And on your spare time, the guys who are there can go out and play some golf. So, yeah, Arizona, good luck to you. All right, we got more to do here on the Bump and Stacy Show Dad Podcast. You know who we heard from? Head coach Mike Vrabel. We've been waiting for that. Drake May spoke as well. And Jed Fish has an interesting plan when it comes to the 2014 playoff. That's coming up next. I'm Michael Bumpus. We got Curtis Rogers filling in for Stacy. This is Bump and Stacy.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
Michael is in his 70s, and he was dealing with an injury.
I had tears in my rotator cuff. Just the discomfort of going about everyday life. Day-to-day things were not comfortable or almost impossible, but just being inactive was troubling.
He was in a great deal of pain.
I started trying to learn how to brush my teeth with my left hand, and you can't do it. It was ridiculous.
Searching for answers, Michael found Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, where he underwent stem cell therapy.
You know, I played basketball Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and so I'm getting my shot back. It's not back to where it was, but hey, before I couldn't even do anything. So 100% improvement of what it was.
Wow, that's great to hear. Would you recommend stem cell therapy to others?
I can share without a doubt that it helped me, and I'm grateful for that.
Whether it's a shoulder, hip, or knee, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as... That's 888-665-0696.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Feeling lucky? Don't miss the Lucky Spring Classic Collector Car, Truck, and Boat Auction. Saturday, June 6th at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Up to 200 collector, vintage, and classic vehicles, many going to the highest lucky bidder with absolutely no reserve. Get lucky, get local, and get in line. Visit LuckyOldCar.com for a list and pictures of auction vehicles. Or call 206-467-6531 for bidding and consignment details.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. DayandNight.net. This month, Day and Night gives you a free furnace with the installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net. Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You deserve a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Switch today. Get started for $60 a month for 12 months when you add an advanced solution to a qualifying internet package. Limited time offer. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and autopay with bank account required. Taxes and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
This is The Timeline on the Bump and Stacy Show. We got the Dad Podcast today. And guess what? We finally heard from head coach Mike Vrabel for the first time since April's NFL draft, man.
Anything going on in his life?
A little something. He was asked about his work, family life. Here's his response.
Again, I appreciate my family is great. I love Jen. I love the boys. I love, my personal friends. And then, this spring is focused on really the coaching staff, the players, more importantly than the coaching staff. But I just, seeing the coaches in the second year, how smooth the conversations are.
Yeah, you better say I love Jen first. You better say I love Jen first. I love my families, my personal friends. Listen, I think if anyone has held together a good poker face, it has to be Mike Vrabel. Like, he hasn't really flinched. When I see him, it doesn't feel like something's going on in his life too hectic. We all know what's going down. Yeah. I'm sure all he wants to do is talk about football.
He bought that sweater for her at that gift shop in the Salt Lake City airport. That was kind of I don't know if that's if that's going to be good enough to after you drag your entire family through all this. I think he survives all this and remains the Patriots head coach. We haven't seen, I think, outside of the photo of him and Diana Rossini kissing, which was released on draft night. Mm-hmm. Outside of them, every new picture that comes out, it's kind of
yeah.
All right, they were spotted at a casino together. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, not too crazy.
We know what this whole thing was about. They were clearly in a relationship with one another. The only piece of news that could ever blow this whole thing wide open is news I don't think we're ever going to get because, the potential paternity of one of her children, I don't think is for public consumption.
No, and I got a bet with G. Scott. I bet G. Scott 50 or 100 push-ups.
Was it 100 push-ups?
I think it was 100. That Vrabel would be the head coach week 1. So it's looking like we're trending in that direction. He was also asked if he anticipates missing any more football activities.
I mean, I can only tell you I'm going to be there today, Ben. I can't tell you anything other than I'm going to be out there today in full force. And I mean that because, who knows what's going to come up. I'm not even, anything could happen. And so I'm going to focus on today. But in the excitement that we've had and that we've built so far, and the conditioning that we've tried to incorporate into our practices and the weightlifting and all the things that are critical.
He wavered just a little bit.
A little bit.
I don't know,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll get hit by a car tomorrow.
Yeah.
I see him kind of backpedaling just a little bit.
There's probably, a few pictures that he's probably really hoped don't see the light of day. But at this time, no, I cannot anticipate missing more football activities. It does kind of feel like this story is now starting to lose a little bit of momentum because at the time when it did come out, it was the biggest thing in the NFL, but it was also at a very slow portion of the calendar because now you've got players back at OTAs. We're post-draft, so everybody's kind of pointed towards the next season. The schedule got released. There's just a lot more going on in the NFL calendar right now, which kind of makes me think the whole thing was very strategic in how all the news dropped, like one after another, and when it dropped, because it happened at a very slow point in the NFL calendar. Like after free agency, before the draft, that is a time where no one's really, the NFL conversation is there, but it's not at the forefront at that point in the year. That made it the forefront.
It's because Robert Kraft has been through stuff like this before. And he said, look, this is how we're going to handle this, all right? Let's just get in front of it, get it all out right now, and we'll move on. Have you ever been in a job interview, been asked like a weird question?
I mean, can't say that I've been asked a weird one at a job interview.
Maybe
sure, yeah.
Dates are just awkward to begin with,
where
right?
You're kind of just like tiptoeing around the question, trying to formulate an answer, and then it's like, I think that might have been the right answer.
Is this what you want to hear?
Yeah.
All right, well, speaking of awkward questions, Drake May was asked by a reporter if he's gotten thicker with 2 C's.
Rude question. Are you thicker with 2 C's? Is that the way you're supposed to say it? Is that kind of like the hip thing? Are you thicker with 2 C's? Is that how we're supposed to be? Or
I think that's pause, if that's anything. I think that's not the way to put it, but
Listen, 1, never say that in a professional setting.
Right.
2, don't even say it to a girl. Like y'all got to be really tight for you to ask her if she's gotten thicker with 2 C's.
Should we ask him if he's dummy thick?
Dumb thick. I got a homie that says thick with an F when someone's really thick. Thick.
Oh, wow.
Thick. Yeah, that's weird.
That's a weird question to ask of a guy, especially Drake May, who's not really, like, big. Like, he's not.
No.
He's pretty svelte.
He's proportionate. You know? Like, you ask, have you put on muscle?
Yeah.
Have you gotten bigger this offseason? What was your offseason training like?
Yeah.
I think he probably the guy sounds like he's he heard it from his kid and was like, okay, this is how I'm going to ask this question.
One of my favorite clips online is of this guy who is on trial for something. He's in an orange jumpsuit. He's got his hands shackled together, and his lawyer is giving like the transcript of the interaction that this man had with a woman, and she goes, the defendant says, "Girl, you were thicker than a bowl of oatmeal," and then the camera pans to the guy who's on trial, and he just kind of does a little point, hey, take it as a compliment.
I'm sure a lot of you guys know exactly what Curtis is talking about. All right, on to the next one. This is actually pretty interesting. Huskies head coach Jedd Fisch was on SiriusXM's College Sports Radio and was asked what his ideal college football playoff format would look like.
I believe not only should it be a 2014 playoff, but I believe week 1 should be Big 10 versus Big 12, ACC versus SEC. Week 2 should be Big 10 versus SEC, ACC versus Big 12. And then week 3 should be Big 10 versus ACC, SEC versus Big 12. I think you should play the 3 Power 4 conferences. Then you should play 9 Big 10 games. And if you want to schedule somebody else, schedule them in the preseason. Because we need to know how good the other conferences are, so we can determine if a 9-3 Washington team should be ahead of a 10-2 team from a different conference. We should be able to determine what the markers should look like. And I see no problem at all with teams that have 3 losses. I actually think if you win 75% of your games in the new world order that we're living in, you should have a chance to go compete for a national championship.
Now, I don't like too many things that were purple other than the Lakers.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
But that right there made complete sense to me. I like the matchups between the power conferences because that makes sense. I can't think of a specific situation, but there are times where we felt like a team with 1 more losses better than a team that had 1 more win than them. That makes sense to me.
Well, and then you're able to kind of put conference records up against each other. Like, oh, look, the Big 10 this year, they went 6-4 against the SEC. Oh, the ACC went 2-8 against the SEC this year. Like, clearly the SEC is superior to the ACC here. The only issue I have with this is what then becomes of those schools who use the non-conference matchups against Power 5 programs to kind of fund their athletic departments, where teams in Conference USA and the American Athletic Conference and the Sun Belt and all those, they get kind of left behind the Mountain West. And I mean, it's not the same with those schools kind of going head-to-head, because then I think if you do what Jedd Fisch is doing, then you have clearly put a divide. And a divide does exist between the Power Four and the Group of Five, but this would put a firm line in the sand between the Power Four and the Conference Five if the Power Four is only scheduling non-conference games against one another rather than dipping into that well and, having, Rice visit your schools, Sam Houston visit your school. I think we are headed towards a 24-team college football playoff. How we get there, no idea, but I think with so many people talking about 24 teams, I think eventually we're going to get there. Does it go to 16 next? Potentially, but I think within this decade potentially we're looking at a 24-team college football playoff.
All right, no way we're not getting to this one real quickly. Remember last week when Underdog Sports came out with a board game poking fun at SGA? He didn't like it. His lawyer sent a cease and desist letter.
Wow. Soft.
Shea made hoops all about foul baiting.
Got him. That's 2 shots.
Now you're guarding him.
You so much as breathe on me, I'm getting the call.
Go for the steal. Don't get caught. Download Underdog now to get yours. Only 100 made.
So sensitive.
So sensitive.
So sensitive.
Lean into it.
Yeah.
Shay.
This is like, listen, back-to-back NBA MVP. Let's get it. All right. Don't be so soft. All right. Let's go around the diamond. The Mariners have the day off, but you can catch another edition of Extra Innings with who? Curtis Rogers tonight from 7 to 9 p.m. That's around the horn. That's Around the Diamond, brought to you by Klein Jewelers Edmonds. More to do when we get back. We're going to talk some NFL, man. One NFL analyst has the best and worst offseason moves for the Seahawks. Do you agree? Do you disagree? We'll talk about that next on the Bump Stacy Show. We got Curtis Rogers filling in.
Have you downloaded the Seattle Sports app?
We're going to have a challenge right here.
What are you waiting for?
Listen to this.
Every pitch.
Here comes the 3-2.
Every game.
Swung on and missed. Got him.
One app for free.
How about that, folks?
The Seattle Sports app. Every game.
Julio racing back.
Right in the palm of your hands.
Makes a leap and makes the catch.
Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
They got it. Wow.
The Seattle Sports app.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. No guessing, just answers. Over 100,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Take control and protect your long-term health by knowing your numbers. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Feel better. Live stronger. Start now.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like customer service associate at a dry cleaning shop.
Yeah, hi. I'm here to pick up my suit.
Ah, yes. Here you go.
There must be a mistake. This is too small.
It shrunk a whole lot. Look on the bright side. Now you have a suit you can give to a child.
This is a job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Less than 4 in 10 kids aged 6 through 12 are playing sports regularly. 4 in 10 kids? Let it sink in. Just 4 in 10 kids. ESPN is building a nationwide coalition powered by Disney called Take Back Sports, with the purpose of training more coaches, expanding access, and creating community-driven sports programming that puts kids and fun first. We're working on that story. We hope you'll join us.
Visit takebacksports.org to learn more.
Mr. K's Construction reminds parents to enroll your kids in a positive youth program. Sports, hobbies, and community activities improve overall health and performance in school. These programs decrease drug use and violence and develop self-discipline and leadership skills. Let's team together this year to help our kids reach their full potential. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Mr. K's Construction, committed to making your home and our community beautiful since 1977.
Around here, we see a lot of people head out. No matter where they're going, we just help make sure they're ready. Before you hit the road, get a pre-trip safety check from Les Schwab Tires. It's free. Plus, this May, save up to $200 on select sets of 4 tires, including all-terrain, highway, all-season, and all-weather. So go ahead, explore with confidence. Les Schwab Tires. We're here to help you take the long way. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief. The best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, it's John Curley with my friend Bob Stelton. Hey, Bob, you had a hip issue just like me. You went to see Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. What did he tell you?
You got a torn labrum, you got a frayed ligament, you've got arthritis developing. He said, this isn't going to fix everything, but it will go a long way. I was walking around at about an 8 pain level. I couldn't walk that far before the pain would kick in, and it was impacting my workouts and just really impacting my day-to-day stuff beyond jiu-jitsu.
So, just like me, Dr. Wagner does stem cell on your hip. How you feeling now?
I feel like I've gotten back to being who I was prior to the injuries, which was somebody who's very active, loves being out there outside when the weather's great, being on the motorcycle, sparring in jiu-jitsu, working out. I can do all of those things now.
So whether it's a shoulder, a hip, a wrist, knee, or elbow, before you choose surgery, see our friend, Dr. Wagner first. He'll tell you if stem cell is right for you. drmarkwagnermd.com. Make an appointment at drmarkwagnermd.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you are listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
ESPN's Bill Barnwell published the best and most confusing move for each NFC team made this offseason. And, of course, we're going to talk about what he wrote about the Seattle Seahawks. Now, he said the best signing was Josh Jobe. The very first line turns me off, though. He says, best move, re-signing Josh Jobe. Opposing teams were inevitably going to carve up the Seahawks defense as several of their contributors hit free agency. It's not inevitable. I have so much belief in what Mike McDonald does and the guys who are still here. And I'm like, inevitable?
I think maybe he means in this instance with carve up, maybe pick apart and sign guys from it rather than dice them up with 400-yard games. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading it differently.
All right, maybe. Carve up?
Yeah.
Carve up the Seahawks defense.
It's a weird phrase. I would not have used that in trying to convey, I think, the point that Barnwell was trying to make.
I say 90% of the people read this the way that I read it. when you say carve up a defense, you're thinking of throwing the ball.
That is the traditional way in which that terminology is used. Now, pick apart, I think, would be what I would have gone with here. Yeah, or just like, hey, we're signing Boye Mafe, we're signing Kobe Bryant. Like, that's what we want to do.
Barnwell, love your work. Great guy.
Friend of the show.
But, that first line turned me off a bit. He says also there might have been contract terms at which it made sense to bring back some of those players, but Boye Mafe landed a $20 million deal with the Bengals. Kobe Bryant signed for more than 13 per season with the Bears. Seattle coach Mike McDonald might have liked his chances of coaching up options on cheaper deals. I love the signing of Josh Jobe. I've spoken to players in the NFL who are not on the Seahawks, and they say Jobe is technical and he is strong as heck. I always go back to that play where he, my coach used to say, Coach Miles back in high school, Culver City High School, he took him to the water. Like, pretty much took Stephon Diggs wherever he wanted to take him, on the sideline to the bench. And that's just the type of guy that he was. You also lose Rick Woolen, who signed a one-year deal with the Eagles. So I think this was something that had to be done. You had to sign Josh Jobe, but then you also had to get into the draft and make sure you had some competition too.
Yeah, I think bringing Joe back was a necessary move for the Seahawks team, especially because it had always felt like Mike McDonald appreciated him a little more than maybe Rick Woolen, who Jobe would start over Reek a lot, especially nearing the end of Reek's tenure here. It just kind of felt like Jobe played himself into a more favorable spot than Reek did. And look, when Josh Jobe has been out on the field, Bump, I've never once had to worry about him.
No.
Kind of set it and forget it. It's never been an issue with his play. And so I think, you're going to pick the guy, I think, that has had the steadier production. Reek Woolen can make some tremendous plays, some wow plays, but also gives up some pretty big plays as well. I think the Seahawks kind of appreciate the consistent effort and the consistent production they've gotten out of Jobe.
Sometimes it's just you don't have to be flashy. You just do your job, be technically sound, and not put your safeties or anyone else at risk, which is what Josh Jobe does for the majority of the time. He's a DB. He gets beat. Everyone gets beat in this league, so no one is perfect. But, no, I agree. Josh Jobe was great. Worst, not doing more to upgrade the offensive line. He says, I know. The Seahawks won the Super Bowl while people like me were complaining that the interior of their offensive line, with Gray Zabel aside, wasn't good enough. I wouldn't say that the line was great, but on the biggest stage, it was indeed good enough to win the title. So what did they do? They drafted a guy by the name of Bo Stevens. They said that their only addition was a fifth-round pick in Bo Stevens, adding to offer competition for right guard Anthony Bradford, who teams targeted throughout the season, or extra depth on the left side to help out Abe Lucas. So, me personally, I was talking to Cash, our board op today, during the break, and he asked me, what do you think of Anthony Bradford? I said, when Anthony Bradford was great, he was great. One of the strongest offensive linemen you have, dominant. When he was bad, it was pretty bad. I also noted that he had more good moments than bad moments. It's just that the bad moments people highlight him.
Right.
I get it. And you still won a Super Bowl with Anthony Bradford. So if he is able to fight off Bo Stevens, to me, that means that he's getting better at his craft and I like what he's doing.
Well, I think this was an issue people had last year coming into the season, and Barnwell admits as much in his piece here, saying people like me were complaining about the interior of their offensive line wasn't good enough last year. And then he says, I wouldn't say the line was great, but on the biggest stage it was indeed good enough to win a title. I don't know if necessarily bringing in other pieces we're going to upgrade the offensive line. What I think will upgrade the offensive line is just having another year in this system and also not changing, a lot in terms of your offensive coaching staff. Yes, Brian Fleury is now in, but you bring back every offensive lineman from a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is the same. You've added Bo Stevens to the group, but no one is left. It's the same cast of characters. Everybody's back. And as we hear all the time from every NFL analyst, the expert in offensive line analysis in town is Ray Roberts. Continuity is so important on the offensive line, just having familiarity with the guys around you. What better way to have that familiarity than bringing the exact group back that won you a Super Bowl? When the Seahawks won the Super Bowl in 2013, they didn't bring back the same cast of characters the next year. I think Breno Giacomini left, Paul McQuiston left. All those, those two guys played a really important role on the right side of the offensive line. You don't have to start over anywhere on the offensive line. Who knows what Anthony Bradford's going to perform like? I believe this is a contract year for him, so maybe there's another level he can get to here. But do I think that is the worst thing the Seahawks did this offseason? If it is, then honestly, they've had a pretty decent offseason. I mean, I can't really think of anything that I look at and say, that was a bummer. Maybe not addressing running back earlier in free agency, but then again, like, who among the veteran free agent running backs that signed were you super excited about? I didn't feel like in love with any of them outside of the possibility of potentially bringing back Ken Walker.
If not upgrading the offensive line is the worst move, I'm trying to think of something where I was scratching my head like, why didn't they do that? But I think the why happened early in free agency. Like, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? And then the draft and the guys they did bring over said, all right, I like what they did in that situation. I think I understand Barnwell and saying, okay, this is the worst thing they did, but I also watched film on both seasons and really like what he does. So, it's nice to bring back all 13 offensive linemen that you had and then bring in another guy to compete because, like you said, it's the continuity, baby. So, yes, Barnwell, appreciate your work, love what you do, and hopefully we talk to you soon. All right, when we come back, we'll be joined by the Seattle Times' Bob Condotta. That is next on the Bump and Stacy Show.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle Sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
Hey, Brock Heward here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. And if you've been dreaming of that new deck, you got to get a hold of PCF. Call them before the great weather arrives and their schedule gets totally filled up. With a new deck, patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy the outdoors year-round no matter what the weather brings. And for a limited time, how about this? Get 50% off demolition costs up to $5,000 when you book your project with PCF. Contact People Come First Construction Group for all the details. They designed and built our outdoor living space, and we love it. Start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build this summer. Planning, permitting, and construction can take a little time, so get started today. Get project ideas, browse their amazing photos, and look at all the offer details at pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place with People Come First.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. Nothing beats soaking every night in a saltwater hot spring spa, except getting it for an incredible price during our Summer to Remember rebate event. Save up to $4,500 on the best hot tub you can own. Saltwater soaking, incredible savings, sleeping better, feeling better. What are you waiting for? OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now it's the final days of our Everything's on Sale event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses. Our Memorial Day event ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners completed a series sweep of the A's, winning 9-1 on the road and are now in first place, all alone in the AL West. Game 6 of OKC in the Spurs series is tonight at 5:30. Spurs looking to force a Game 7. MLB proposed a $245 million hard cap and a $171 million hard floor. Will a deal get done? We'll discuss that.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
This is the Bump and Stacy Show. We got Curtis Rogers filling in for Stacy. We are joined now by the Seattle Times' Bob Condotta. Bob, how we doing?
Good. Yeah, how you guys doing?
We're doing good. It's feeling more and more like football season, which is always a plus for us over here. And Bob, I watched and listened to Mike McDonald's post-practice conference, whatever you want to call it. And he's always been confident, but there's a different type of confidence that I was getting from him. Did you have the same feeling?
Yeah, maybe I didn't. I just think he's. I mean, certainly they now know for sure that everything they do works, right? But I feel like Mike was always pretty confident in his ability and in what he thought he could do as a head coach here. So I don't know that he went from like really feeling like, man, I don't know what I'm doing tonight. Like now I do. I think he always had kind of an innate confidence in himself and that he would figure it out. But certainly they know that in general, obviously he knows his defensive schemes work. That's the side of the ball he obviously is most in charge of, and they know that their overall team building and kind of the atmosphere they want to try to set there is also a good one and can be a winning one. So certainly, I guess from that standpoint, but I think Mike right now is I think what he's trying to do right now is kind of set the stage for next year as well. And I don't think he's trying to set maybe come off with an air of confidence, like we've got it all figured out. Because I think he knows as much as anybody as well that as quickly as you're on top, you can kind of fall back from that in the NFL and in any sport. So I think in some part he's trying also to not kind of have everybody feel like they know everything and kind of feel too overconfident.
Bob, it was your guys' first look at the Seahawks full squad, or mostly the full squad. There were a couple names not in attendance for OTAs this week, but where did your eyes kind of get drawn to when watching this team? I know there's a few new faces, but it's mostly the same team from last year. What grabbed your attention at practice there on Tuesday?
Yeah, it's mostly just kind of trying to sense, when they did go 11 on 11, who's where. That's mostly what you're looking for and stuff like this. You really, the nature of it, who does what in terms of the plays they make isn't necessarily, to me, as meaningful as simply kind of who's lining up where. And obviously, yeah, there's some guys not there. There's a couple of positions you're still going to have to wait for everybody to kind of get out there to get a real sense of it. But just kind of looking at the running back spot with right now, you don't have Zach Charbonnet and Kenny McIntosh, and who knows for sure when you're going to have those guys. They hope to have McIntosh back by training camp. But it was interesting just kind of seeing George Holani right now appear to be sort of first in the rotations, and Jadarian Price going second. But I don't think that's a surprise. I think usually that's kind of how it works with rookies, and they sort of have to maybe earn their way there. They're obviously, if the season started today, they'd be your top two running backs, and you kind of figure out how many snap counts and what their roles are and stuff like that going forward. Looking at the secondary a little bit, the safety spot, it's Ty Okada and Bud Clark, and kind of how that's going to look without Kobe Bryant being out there. And you saw both those guys get sort of ample reps there. And the cornerback spot as well without Reek Woolen, and you saw, Nehemiah Pritchett was getting a lot of run, and they're working in Julian Neal some. And then the offensive line, just because, there's kind of been the talk about Anthony Bradford in the right guard spot. But as far as I could tell, every time they were out there with the ones, Anthony Bradford was the right guard, and Christian Haynes was backing him up. And then Bo Stevens was third in that rotation. But again, this is the first 11 on 11 practice, sort of to be expected. The veterans, if they're kind of there and out there, usually they sort of have their role and their spot in those rotations until there's reason to move them.
My question for the offense, it's hard to tell exactly who they're going to be. I mean, you can see the way they're lined up in personnel, just like you mentioned. But I wish I could have seen the flow of it, right? Is Sam Darnold getting in and out of the huddle? Are there a lot of questions at the line of scrimmage? Is coach stopping practice to explain some things? How do you feel like the flow of the offense is early? I know it's super early, but what did you see and feel?
Well, they actually did a lot of situational stuff, and they spent a lot of time kind of working on late game situation. There was a significant session late that was literally just having the 1s, 2s, and 3s, and they were going over what was kind of getting in place for a field goal and stopping the clock and all that. So, I guess trying to assess the flow of what an actual game would look like was kind of difficult in one practice like that when they really were. It seemed like working on a lot of just situational stuff, but it will be interesting, certainly as it goes. Just with Brian Fleury being the new OC, you certainly see him being involved as you would expect. But he was out there, doing what offensive coordinators do of calling the plays, and you really saw him kind of early in the workouts when they're in their position groups, kind of working with the quarterbacks and standing over by those guys, and so obviously I think they're these are really important sessions to just get all that communication stuff worked out. I think the biggest thing you're hearing guys say is that there's going to be different verbiage. Whether the schemes change a whole lot from what you see on the field, I don't know if, obviously you'll see some tweaks, but I think for the players, what was the biggest change right now is that there's just some different verbiage. This, what a word meant last year might mean something different this year, or that word doesn't exist anymore, and it's a new word for that formation now. And so that's what you're really trying to figure out in these and try to get that done. And I think that might have been in part why you're doing some late game stuff too, when it tends to be the most chaotic, and it's more important than ever to make sure you're right on it with your verbs.
Bob, Seahawks make a minor move yesterday in trading for Irv Charles, listed as a wide receiver, not really a wide receiver, more of a special teams player. Is this maybe a potential replacement for Derek Young?
Yeah, I think that's exactly the read on that. They drafted Emmanuel Henderson as well as a guy who could do that. They've kind of got Ricky White from last year's draft class as well, who I think could contend for that. But for sure, the last of your five, typically last year they had 5 receivers on the 53 during the season, and that fifth guy was usually a special teams guy. Both your fourth and fifth guys were. But right now, if you kind of had five receivers, I mean, your top 3 are JSN, Cooper Kupp, and Rashid Shaheed. You've got Jake Bobo as well, who's now got some, somewhat significant guaranteed money, which I think pretty much assures him a spot on the roster as probably your fourth guy. Jake Bobo's never really been as much of a gunner as like Derek Young was. So you did lose Derek Young. So if you have a fifth spot, as a fifth or sixth spot, one of those guys is probably going to have to be that guy who takes a lot of snaps who takes a lot of the receiving snaps on special teams and specifically as the gunner. So for sure, I think they want to. I don't know the specifics of why he became available from the Jets, but the Jets I think have made. I think I was reading something like 13 trades this offseason. They obviously have a lot of work to do with that franchise to get going, and so maybe they if they could get a future draft pick for a 29-year-old special teamer, maybe they were happy to do that. And for the Seahawks, it's a guy who could maybe fill an immediate need for them.
What have you seen out of Bud Clark? It's a guy that I expect to get playing time, big personality. Can you hear him out there? And what does he look like when it comes to just the groups, I guess, 1s, 2s, or 3s? Who is he playing with?
They were kind of rotating quite a bit in part. Nick Immanwori didn't seem to be out there a whole lot. Devin Witherspoon wasn't out there a whole lot when they had the one. So the secondary groupings back there were you kind of saw all those guys kind of mixing in quite a bit with both the 1s and the 2s. So I don't know if I could say he was specifically with one group or the other. They were just kind of doing a lot of mixing and matching. You saw a lot of work with 3 safeties, and I think they might have even had 4 safeties out there a couple of times in some looks, which would kind of just be what you would have had last year when you had both Kobe Bryant and Reek Woolen, and instead you kind of had some looks now where you had some different guys. When they had 6 DBs out there, you kind of have 2 new DBs out there for those 2 guys. So that's going to be an interesting competition. Rodney Thomas was out there as well. The free agent they signed, and he mixed in with those guys. But typically when we saw Bud on Tuesday, it looked like he was lining up primarily as kind of a deep safety. And they kind of had other people maybe doing stuff closer to the line. But again, this was really just a few kind of sessions of 11 on 11. So we'll get a much better sense of that going forward.
Bob, yesterday we got the report from NFL Network's Ian Rappaport saying that the Seahawks sale is now robust. Just about a week ago, it was soft. What are you hearing on that, and how did it go from soft to robust so quickly?
Yeah, my read on that would be that I'm not sure a whole lot has changed. I think it's just maybe whose definition of soft and robust is. There's been reports of 2 guys. I mean, part of it is you got to put together a group of people, of 25 or fewer people who've got $10 billion, one of whom has $3 billion in cash to immediately hand over. There's not going to be 50 groups of people who can readily do that. So it's going to be just a handful of people, and a handful of groups who can do this. There's been the 2 reported groups by Sportico, which have been confirmed by other people since then. Kind of the Boston group of the 2 guys who are involved in the Celtics, and sort of the Bay Area group of the family that bought into the 49ers last year. And I think those are 2 groups that could be quickly and easily vetted, because the one group just got vetted last year by the NFL when they got approved to buy into the 49ers, and the other is headed by a guy who owned the Boston Celtics for 25 years essentially. So people that are known. So my understanding is there's 2 or 3 other groups that also could be in the mix for trying to prepare bids, but part of it is if you don't think you can go as high as some of the other groups, then maybe you don't get involved. So how many people are actually going to make bids at the end of the day can always kind of be a matter of, just how realistic is it for them to be able to do it. But I think there's been interest all along. I think it's just, again, it's a matter of when groups get to that, how many people can they put together to try to get this done and reach that price. The NFL certainly wants this to be $10 billion or more. I don't know that there's another NFL team that they know for sure is going to come up for sale anytime soon. So the Seahawks are going to help reset the market there. They would love it if the Seahawks topped the $10 billion that the Lakers got last year. That's the highest price for an American sports franchise. So, I think the NFL is certainly going to try to encourage as many people to get involved as they can and create as much of a bidding war as they could. But I think from the start, I think there have been a certain number of people who are interested, and I think how much they stay interested or, kind of depends on where they then see it going and what they think other people are going to do, and if they can get commitments from the people who have the money to do it. So, maybe it's possible it's regarded as more robust now simply because maybe as the price is settling, there's more people who feel like, yeah, maybe we can pull this off and make a legitimate bid. But, it's worth remembering Roger Goodell last week said the same thing. So, he said that he refuted the earlier report that the market was soft, and he said there was tremendous interest in the team. So, I don't know if Ian Rappaport's report yesterday was basically just kind of repeating what Goodell had said, on the record during his press conference last week, or if there's really something new going on there. But, at the moment, there's only the two groups that anybody knows publicly, but it does sound like there's at least another one or two groups behind the scenes that are probably trying to prepare bids as well.
Last year, we were trying to get to know Clint Kubiak and his coaching style and what it was like, and we had folks on from New Orleans kind of describe his demeanor, pretty quiet. One person said you wouldn't even know he was out there if you didn't know who he was and what he was doing. Do you get a chance to look at Fleury? What's his coaching style like? What'd you see from him?
Well, he definitely just, he kind of stands out a little bit more just when you look at him than Kubiak does. He's got the red beard. He's a little bit taller. Just kind of his stature. You kind of notice him more in that way. Haven't gotten to know him a super ton yet. We had the one press conference with him. We haven't really talked to him since then, but certainly seems like a personable guy, and you definitely see him. Like I said the other day, he's early on he seemed to be kind of hanging with the quarterbacks a little bit, and I think that's to be expected because that's who is the most important thing. The communication of the offensive coordinator calling the plays to the quarterbacks, them all getting on the same page and understanding the verbiage. So I think that's totally to be expected. That's kind of what he'd be doing early on. But I think there's no question if you watched Clint Kubiak's press conferences, he had much more of a calm demeanor, and players would say that behind the scenes he was a little more lively than that, and he's probably going to have to be now that he's the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. So I think Brian Fleury can be expected to probably be a little bit more kind of seem a little more verbose probably in some of the press conferences that we end up having with him through the year. One practice, I'm kind of loath to make a huge sweeping judgment on what his personality is going to be like, but certainly that was kind of his demo with the 49ers again. I think that he probably will come off as a guy who's a little bit more maybe a little bit more talkative or kind of outspoken than Clint Kubiak was.
Bob, last one from me. What was the running back carry distribution during Tuesday's practice?
I mean, I didn't add it up, to be honest with you. Again, they have offense sometimes over here and defense over there, and you're kind of just looking around at different things. But in general, the rotation seemed to be Holani. Holani sort of went first whenever they were doing something. Price went second. Emmanuel Wilson wasn't out there, so we didn't get a chance to look at him. McDonald said yesterday or said after practice he had a personal matter going on. They really only have the two other running backs out there, Jacardier Wright and then Bellis Jones Jr., who kind of keeps going back and forth between being a running back and a receiver. I think they have him listed as a receiver right now, but he was back at running back. Obviously, they'll get Emmanuel Wilson back eventually, and so that would give them 5. And long term, they're expecting Charbonnet and McIntosh back, so that'd fill out the group. Maybe they try to add somebody to that mix at some point as well. But they did a lot of they certainly ran the ball some, but they were doing a lot of throwing the ball as well. And you saw them get it to Price a couple times. Probably what was kind of the highlight play, I guess, was probably about a 30-yard pass to Price on a wheel route out of the backfield where he got behind the secondary. Although he got behind the secondary because there's no contact and stuff like that, so they're not supposed to be making plays on the ball. But Price did catch it, and for what would have been probably a 50-yard touchdown or something like that. The way the play evolved. That's a competition. It's got a long way to go, and B, I think from the start the plan. I think the thought is that Price would probably be your first and second down running back, and George Holani sort of more fits the profile of your third down running back. Just that was kind of his role last year, and I think they felt like he played it really well, especially when he had to play in those last couple games after Zach Charbonnet got hurt.
He's Seattle Times' Bob Condotta. Bob, we appreciate you.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Yep, bye.
All right, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, real
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump and Stacy.
Ian Rappaport says the Seahawks have a robust market and could be sold before the start of the regular season. What's the real headline?
Real headline, I haven't seen anything go from soft to robust this quickly since Sammy Sosa in 1998.
Sosa was swole.
He was strapped.
Did he cork his bat too?
He did, yeah. Not only was he juicing, he was corking his bat as well.
Man, he did everything.
Double cheating.
Everything possible.
But hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
That's what they say.
That's the thing. I've never had an issue with people doing steroids because they're doing every possible thing to win.
He just cares that much.
Yeah.
He wants to win that much. Nah, man, that's good for the league. We just talked to Bob Condotta. Sure. He says, look, the NFL wants this thing to sell for about $10 billion, which would be good. My main thing is, how does the new owner, or what does the new owner change about this organization that has already had so much success? Do you come in and tear everything down? Employees are gone. Do I still have a job? Like, what are you gonna do to this organization that has had so much success?
I just hope it's not a situation like it is in Portland, where the Allen estate did sell to Tom Dundon, and now you're kind of wondering, does Tom Dundon have enough cash to kind of make everything work in Portland, because he's made such a big deal about, trimming the fat, essentially making his spending with the Trailblazers more in line with his NHL team, the Hurricanes, even though the revenue in the NBA is completely different than it is in the NHL. I really hope that whoever the Allen estate sells the Seahawks to, money is not an issue long term, because I've never once worried about, can the Seahawks afford to do this? Can the Seahawks afford to do that with Paul Allen, and then with Jody following Paul's passing? It has not ever been an issue, and I think we as Seahawks fans in this town have been very blessed to have never once worried about if there's enough cash to get something done. So that's my biggest hope in this sale, is that we still don't have to worry about the spending, and that this owner, whoever it is, doesn't have to shake the couch cushions in order to come up with the cash.
Headline rewrites.
The MLB Players Association submitted their first CBA proposal to MLB owners on Wednesday. The owners are expected to counter with asking for a salary cap. What's the real headline?
And that's no cap. In fact, just moments ago, probably about 20 minutes ago, prior to our interview with Bob Condotta, Jesse Rogers of ESPN reporting that the Major League Baseball owners have countered with a salary cap and a salary floor, which would start in 2027 if agreed upon. The salary floor would be $171.2 million, which is around 15th in terms of total payroll in Major League Baseball. The salary cap would be $245.3 million, which would be around, I think, seventh or sixth in Major League Baseball. So kind of in that, like, second, third of the league in terms of where the floor and ceiling would be. I was looking at the numbers, Bump. If the Marlins wanted to reach the floor, they would have to spend like $90 to $100 million.
Crazy.
Like, how do you do that? You just start throwing bad contracts around,
They're going to be stressed out is what they're going to be.
Yeah.
Stressed.
Headline rewrites.
The 2026 Apple Cup will be played on Sunday, September 6th at 1 p.m. What's the real headline?
A very normal late summer tradition like no other. I've always said late summer is when the Apple Cup should be played. on a Sunday. Not even a Saturday. It's on a Sunday.
Maybe that becomes a tradition.
Maybe.
You know, maybe Pat signs us up. Pat is the AD for UW. Signs this thing up for 5 or 6 more years, and it becomes a new tradition to this new generation. Traditions always got to start somewhere. All right, so this is going to be weird, though. Summertime football against UW.
You know what's weird about having the Apple Cup this time of year in Seattle is the same problem that the Cougs would have when it was in Pullman week of Thanksgiving, is that the student body's not on campus.
Yeah.
The UW student body doesn't get there until like late September, and the Cougs student body always goes home week of Thanksgiving. So both schools having issues, getting the students on campus. I'd be very interested to see what that student section looks like. Week 1, September 6th. That's usually a time of the year when there's just not a lot of butts and seats at Husky Stadium.
I called a game, an Oregon State game that weekend a couple years ago. Student section was like not even half full. Because they're on a quarter system too. So it's it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird, but we know when the game will be played. We don't have to wonder anymore. All right, when we come back, we got some NFL headlines. Will Mahomes be ready to go week 1? And how's Drake May feeling about that rematch in his week 1 in 2026? That's coming up next. I'm Michael Bumpus with Curtis Rogers. You're listening to Bump Stacy.
Have you downloaded the Seattle Sports app?
We're going to have a challenge right here.
What are you waiting for?
Listen to this.
Every pitch.
Here comes the 3-2.
Every game.
Swung on and missed. Got him.
One app for free.
How about that, folks?
The Seattle Sports app. Every game.
Julio racing back.
Right in the palm of your hands.
Makes a leap and makes the catch.
Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
They got it. Wow.
The Seattle Sports app.
What's up, it's Bump, letting you know there's some big events coming up at Silver Reef. You got Crazy Train, an Aussie tribute to the Prince of Darkness, headline Saturday, July 25th. Also, Howie Mandel, a famous comedian, returns to Silver Reef Casino on Friday, October 9th. Tickets sold out fast last time, so make sure you get your tickets this time before they run out again. But you don't have to wait until July or October to visit Silver Reef Casino Resort. Visit Loomis Trails Golf Course and spend the weekend up there. Relax in deluxe rooms and enjoy a meal at the steakhouse as well. You can watch the games and have some fun at their sports restaurant and enjoy the Cantina, authentic Mexican restaurant. I love the burritos there. So many reasons to go up there, and I haven't even mentioned the spa yet. You can book your stay at silverreefcasino.com. I love it there. It's an easy drive and well worth the trip, and they also have some of the cheapest gas on the west side, so your wallet will not hate you. Hop on I-5, exit 260 to visit Silver Reef Casino Resort. silverreefcasino.com. That's silverreefcasino.com.
Feeling lucky? Don't miss the Lucky Spring Classic collector car, truck, and boat auction. Saturday, June 6th at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Up to 200 collector, vintage, and classic vehicles, many going to the highest lucky bidder with absolutely no reserve. Get lucky, get local, and get in line. Visit LuckyOldCar.com for a list and pictures of auction vehicles. Or call 206-467-6531 for bidding and consignment details.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
Mariners and Diamondbacks tomorrow at T-Mobile. 7:10 first pitch. Pre-game at 6. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief. The best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Justin's an avid skier, and a hard fall on the mountain changed everything.
I wound up tearing my meniscus, and then I found out that I also had osteoarthritis.
The pain was relentless.
Initially, it was probably a 7 or 8, but then it just continued and never went away.
It wasn't just pain, it was how he moved.
The biggest issue I had was simply walking. I could not walk without limping.
Others might have looked into surgery, but Justin chose stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. How's it now?
I'm back to skiing as hard as I can, and I don't even notice my knee anymore.
And the recovery?
Well, the biggest thing is I was walking without a limp within weeks, where I had been limping for the last year or so. Now I just feel totally normal. I feel like I can do anything that I ever did.
Before you choose surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first, the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Let's get to some NFL headlines. Adam Schefter Parsons.
Looks like they are expecting him to miss the first few games, maybe potentially be a PUP candidate. We'll see how that works out. But when they open the season, doesn't look like Parsons will be ready coming off that torn ACL he suffered late last season against the Denver Broncos. Also, just over 5 months ago and under 4 months to the start of the Packers season.
Yeah, it's different. Different requirements to play the position.
Right.
Michael Parsons is super explosive. Got to have extra bend, hit in the corner, and be volume, whereas Pat Mahomes can kind of drop back, sit in the pocket, get down if he needs.
Really make us work. We got to, bring it week one, on the road in a tough environment, with their, they're going to be hanging their banner, and that's the part of it. So I think it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to be a tough task. So it'll be something for us to get some extra motivation and make training camp better.
Now, initially, we didn't think the NFL was going to do this. We thought they would try to hide Mike Vrabel, and maybe it'd be the Bears week one against this.
Again, we're both competitors, and I know, we both want what's best for the team. Of course. Yeah, he's overly acceptive, and he's always communicating, asking questions, stuff like that. So it's been good.
All right, so you got
That's
one side
professional
of this.
answer. Sure.
That was the most, and I watched the video. I'm looking at his body language. He seems rejuvenated. He seems confident, and he's starting off on the right foot. There's two sides to the story. Here's J.J. McCarthy's answer.
It's just like two guys in a classroom. He sits on one side, I sit on the other side, and it's the coach's responsibility to teach us and coach us. So,
is there any awkwardness between you two?
Awkwardness, it's just like the same feeling, when you're in high school and there's another person on the other side of the room. That's just kind of how it is. So I wouldn't say there's any awkwardness.
Well, that sounded a bit awkward.
That sounded awkward, JJ.
Yeah.
I think you're the one making it awkward. I'm not shocked that J.J. McCarthy and Kyler Murray are not seeing eye to eye on things. These are the two most emo dudes in the quarterback rooms in the NFL. Those two love to pout, and I think J.J. a little more pouty than Kyler right now.
And Kyler has a confidence about him because he's played some good ball in the NFL.
Right, he's been a starter for like 7 years.
Not consistently, but he's been the guy over here. Towards JJ is the younger guy and thinking like, man, they're bringing this old guy in here to steal my job. Yes, JJ, they are.
Yeah.
So buckle up and compete for your spot, man. All right, every year you try to choose a dark horse in the conference, right? NFC, AFC. Dan Orlovsky has an idea who should be a contender and a dark horse in the NFC.
On paper, I think the Bucs are NFC championship contenders. I really, really, really do. Wow. I think offensively, very good offensive line, very good skill players. Baker's the best quarterback in the division. They've invested into this defensive line. And I know they weren't great last year, and I know Vita Vea is a little bit older, but they have put money and picks into this defensive line. And if Ruben Bain is who a lot of people going into the draft thought he was, and obviously Tampa thought he was, then this defensive line should be reminiscent of the ones that we've become accustomed to in Tampa. Yaya Diaby in another year leading their team in sacks. Vita Vea hopefully healthy. Morrison staying healthy at the corner. I just really think this is a very talented top-to-bottom complete roster.
Well, you know, Dan Orlovsky is good for the hot takes.
Sure is.
And, you know, I'm not mad at that take. I think the Bucs were at times, I mean, they beat the Hawks last year.
They did.
And at times, Baker Mayfield looked like an MVP type of quarterback. Let's see if it all comes together.
Do you believe in Todd Bowles as a potential Super Bowl head coach?
I don't know.
He's got good defenses in Tampa, but it feels like last year they kind of underperformed.
They did. I feel like, but they had a couple of injuries, I want to say. But they started off so hot, and they were contenders. But Bowles got to get that monkey off his back. Let's see if they can do it over there with the Buccaneers. All right, so Rob Manfred was on the Pat McAfee show. Everyone loves Rob, right? And we want to know about being sarcastic. He talked about the state of baseball. Let's see if Curtis agrees, if I agree, and if you agree with what he had to say about that. That's coming up next on the Bump Stacy Show. We got Curtis Rogers filling in.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle Sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. No guessing, just answers. Over 100,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Take control and protect your long-term health by knowing your numbers. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Feel better. Live stronger. Start now.
Hey, Brock Heward here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. And if you've been dreaming of that new deck, you got to get a hold of PCF. Call them before the great weather arrives and their schedule gets totally filled up. With a new deck, patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy the outdoors year-round no matter what the weather brings. And for a limited time, how about this? Get 50% off demolition costs up to $5,000 when you book your project with PCF. Contact People Come First Construction Group for all the details. They designed and built our outdoor living space, and we love it. Start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build this summer. Planning, permitting, and construction can take a little time, so get started today. Get project ideas, browse their amazing photos, and look at all the offer details at pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place with People Come First.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. BABBEL.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Mariners and Diamondbacks tomorrow at T-Mobile. 7:10 first pitch. Pre-game at 6. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
A little over an hour left of the Dad podcast today. You got Curtis Rogers filling in. And the Pat McAfee show, they did something different. It's called like the State of Sports or something like that, where they talked to the commissioner of the 5 or 6 major sports. You throw in MMA, UFC in there as well, NBA, WNBA, MLS. Like, I like the concept, actually. It's a good way to kind of get to know what the commissioners are thinking. Are they going to be completely honest on there? Probably not. You know, they're always there to kind of pub up their league and what's going on. So, like I mentioned during the break, or before the break, Manfred was on. Rob Manfred, the head dude in charge over there with MLB.
The honcho.
The honcho was on the Pat McAfee show, and he talked about the competitive balance in CBA negotiations.
I'd point to 2 things, Pat. I think the first is, everything we've done, the rule changes, ABS, we made those changes based on fan input, fan polling. We pay a lot of attention to what our fans are saying. The one thing that they're the biggest on right now is the lack of competitive balance in the game. And I think that's going to be the cornerstone issue of the negotiations with the MLBPA. From our perspective, we think if we can improve our competitive balance, we're going to grow the game in a way that will be beneficial to everybody, players, owners, the whole group.
I'm all for a competitive balance. In your talking to a guy who grew up a Dodger, who's watched his team win back-to-back championships, 3 in the last 5 years or something like that, and are favored to win it this year. And I may sit here and defend my guys because that's what I do. I also understand our pockets are so deep. We better be winning. We better be winning. And if I step away from my fandom and I look at an analyst, no, that's not fair. The Dodgers have way more money than everyone else. There's no salary cap, so they're able to go and get Shohei Ohtani and everyone else and be competitive every year. Whereas teams like the Mariners, you can spend, you're not going to spend like them, but you have to. The road is just a bit more windy when it comes to getting a World Series championship. I'm not mad at competitive balance.
Yeah, I think in competitive balance, I look at that as maybe more of like an on-field thing rather than off the field. And to me, it feels like the game is pretty balanced in terms of just, you're getting more offense than you've had in recent years. Now, obviously, getting teams to spend more and maybe limiting teams and how much they can spend would hopefully create this, more competitive league that I think a lot of us would want. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to be I don't know if that's going to be the immediate fix, because ultimately, like, if you institute a salary floor, like all these teams that are spending as little as they are, you're going to have to sign some guys to bad contracts, or maybe you're going to have to give up, or maybe a lot of teams that do have, that have exceeded the salary cap, they're going to have to give up their worst contracts to these teams, and they're just going to have to take on more salary and just kind of continue to be in this churn of like bad contracts, bad players. It's not a good spot to be in, but I do think though that it's good that both sides have made CBA proposals in the last couple of days and have kind of let those proposals speak for themselves rather than, the typical mudslinging we've seen from side to side over the last few years, whereas the players submitted their proposal yesterday, and then today the owners have countered with that $171 million salary floor, which I think is higher than a lot of people expected. So maybe this is steps towards, hopefully, some harmonious labor discussions, but ultimately I don't think the players are going to go for a salary cap. So that's where I think the sticking point is in all of this. Now, the floor, I think maybe they're a little happy with.
Yeah, for sure. I think, the teams that, like you said, the Pirates who have to spend.
I think it's the Marlins.
The Marlins have to spend like $90 million more.
Yeah.
And as a player, you want to feel like your team has a chance to win ball games. I played on teams where I felt like we had no chance to win that ball game. And that wasn't because of money, though. It's just that's just the way it is. All right, you know what? I want to talk about the MLB expansion, right? That's something that affects us here in Seattle, right? He was asked about expansion of the league.
One of the things that we've begun to think about is expansion. There's a lot of markets in the United States, in North America, quite frankly, Canada and Mexico, that would like to have Major League Baseball. When people want your product, I think it's kind of incumbent on you to try to figure out a way that if you can deliver that product to them. And the advantage of expansion is it opens up a whole lot of opportunities in terms of things like geographic realignment, which promotes rivalries, reduces travel in we have a tough season, 162 games in 186 days. That's, tough.
So I said it affects us here because we're looking at NBA expansion, right? And one of the arguments that I hear is that, well, the talent pool just isn't deep enough. We're going to have a watered-down league. I don't think so. I think there are some really good ball players out there who need an opportunity. And with baseball, I feel like it might be even deeper because there's so many leagues, there's so many players that when I hear MLB expansion, I don't think I'm going to hear the same things that I hear about the NBA as far as the talent pool.
I don't think so either. I think Major League Baseball can handle expansion. I think expansion is something that actually Mariners fans should probably want, especially because if Major League Baseball does expand, I would hope it's like westward. Now, I know Nashville is a city that gets thrown around a lot for expansion, not just in baseball, but also in the NBA. And look, it's a city that's on the up and up in terms of popularity. It's become a travel destination for a lot of people. I would love it for, Portland or like Salt Lake City, a couple of western cities like that to potentially get Major League Baseball, just because if you do add a couple of teams, you're probably going to have to realign the divisions. And if you're the Mariners, you would want to see baseball added into 2 Western markets just so that, like, if those teams get added to your division, you're not having to make a trip to Houston as much as you would be to, Salt Lake City, which is like a 2-hour flight, or to Portland, which would be, like an hour flight, if that. So that's how I kind of see it, is expansion would benefit the Mariners, I think, more than maybe any team in baseball, especially if it was to be westward expansion.
You got family in Salt Lake.
I do.
Do you feel like that's a baseball type of town or city?
It's weird because it is in the geographic footprint of the Colorado Rockies, but there are not a lot of Rockies fans in that town. I think just because the Rockies have not been that good outside of like their first few years, when you had like Larry Walker and all those guys. There are a lot of fans of like other teams in that city, like Yankees fans, obviously, Cubs fans for sure. But it's not a city, I think, that has a team that they root, super hard for already. So I think it could be kind of an untapped market for Major League Baseball to go to if they went there. Now, there's no plan to build a stadium there or anything like that, but it would be I think it would be a market that would be interested in it for sure, though.
They're supporting their hockey team.
Yeah.
So that's
the thing, is that the guy who owns the Jazz owns the Mammoth and is also like the biggest NIL donor to BYU. So he's like, he's just running the whole sports scene right now down there.
Good for him. It's called a monopoly.
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk a little football. Does it make sense for the Seahawks to pursue one of the biggest names in the game? We'll break that down for you next. I'm Michael Bumpus. That's Curtis Rogers. Listen to Bump and Stacy.
Have you downloaded the Seattle Sports app?
We're going to have a challenge right here.
What are you waiting for?
Listen to this.
Every pitch.
Here comes the 3-2.
Every game.
Swung on and missed. Got him.
One app for free.
How about that, folks?
The Seattle Sports app. Every game.
Julio racing back.
Right in the palm of your hands.
Makes a leap and makes the catch.
Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
They got it. Wow.
The Seattle Sports app.
We live in one of the most beautiful places on earth, and owning your own deck is a great way to enjoy it. But finding the right decking solution can be overwhelming. That's why all 9 of our Puget Sound locations offer decking showrooms, so you can get your hands and toes on the more than 60 decking options we carry. So if you have any questions about building, maintaining, or repairing your deck, contact me personally. Mike Dunn at DunnLumber.com.
Trex decking products on sale now through May 31st at Dunn Lumber.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. Improve your play with 40% off installation or 0% financing for 16 months with equal payments. And we're giving back with 2 $5,000 scholarships for our local youth sports teams. Upgrade your home today at PellaPNW.com.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
2 years ago, my office launched a major media campaign to identify key witness to our client's bicycle accident, which we later settled for $10 million. Because when we accept a case, we don't rest until we do everything possible to improve our client's chance of recovery. We're one of only a few firms in the state with an in-house investigation team building our clients' cases. So when you hire Davis Law Group, you don't just get a dedicated and award-winning legal team. You get our commitment to better service and even better results. Request a free consultation today at 206-888-8888.
Do you need a new roof? Then trust your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing to get you taken care of this spring. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and secure $500 off your roof replacement. Right now, you can still take advantage of spring pricing and beat the summer rush. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and cruising into summer is back at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, and so are some of the biggest acts in entertainment. Bingo Loco taking over Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel on Saturday, May 30th. Think bingo, but with DJs, dance-offs, prizes, and a full-on party vibe. Then master mentalist Colin Cloud brings his hit show, Colin Cloud Mastermind, to the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel Ballroom Saturday, June 13th. You won't believe your eyes. Tickets on sale now at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Feeling lucky? Don't miss the Lucky Spring Classic collector car, truck, and boat auction. Saturday, June 6th at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Up to 200 collector, vintage, and classic vehicles, many going to the highest lucky bidder with absolutely no reserve. Get lucky, get local, and get in line. Visit luckyoldcar.com for a list and pictures of auction vehicles. Or call 206-467-6531 for bidding and consignment details.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners completed a series sweep against the A's, winning 9-1 on the road and are now in first place all alone in the AL West. Game 6 of OKC and Spurs is tonight, 5:30. Spurs are going to force a Game 7. And MLB has proposed a $245 million hard cap and a $171 million hard floor. Will a deal get done?
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Before the break, we talked about or teased, does it make sense for the Seahawks to pursue one of the biggest names in football? Before we get to that, I'm going to go back to baseball because, Curtis, you have some more details leaked about the CBA.
Oh, yeah. Jesse Rogers of ESPN said that if the Players Association does agree to a salary cap, it would basically be similar to what the NBA has where it's called bird rights in the NBA. And if a player accrues a certain amount of years with one specific team, then those teams can then exceed the salary cap in trying to re-sign them. So, like, let's say a guy has played for your team for like 5 years and you want to re-sign him and you're worried that his salary may exceed the salary cap. you can sign those players. It's just that you'll then exceed the salary cap. So it's a hard cap, yes, but also there will be, or could be, I should say. Everything is could. There's no anything definitive because we're still about 5-6 months away from any sort of resolution on this. I would imagine this goes to the deadline, but it is going to be, I think, similar to what we see in the NBA in terms of their player movement. This would obviously, change everything we know about player movement in Major League Baseball, but I think we're still quite a ways away from any sort of resolution in this.
Still a lot of time. Something tells me we'll be going to Curtis a lot in the next 4 to 5 months about this whole.
I just hope that that we don't have to bring on like a lot of these sports business people who we've had on in the past when these negotiations drag on and on and on and on and on. It's more fun talking about the games, I think, than the business side of it.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
All right, let's flip back over to football. Does it make sense for the Seahawks to pursue one of the biggest names in the game? Sports Illustrated insider Albert Breer was a guest on Cleveland's 92.3 The Fan and said it might be time for the Browns to shop their star pass rusher.
Like logistically, there's some things they did, moving the payment back, which would create some runway for them to take offers on him if those came along. I've been through the logic in trading him with you guys. I actually agree with some of the reason to do it. After June 1st, it becomes easier. So I think that, when you look at the landscape, on top of there being a new coaching staff there and the team being in the middle of a youth movement, certainly I think that things are TBD, until you hear otherwise. That could be next week. That could be the trade deadline. I just think when you're talking about after 6 years of Kevin Stefanski being in charge there, after, a bunch of years of Jim Schwartz running the defense, and after doing what the Browns have done the last couple of years to try to stock the team with young talent and get younger all over the place, this does feel like the type of time when you would entertain that type of thought.
The reason why the trade doesn't make sense to me is because it's Myles Garrett, best defensive player in the game. The reason why it does make sense is because you don't typically build your team around a pass rusher. He's an addition. He is a luxury, something that you have. I mean, we look at what the Hawks have done over here with this defense. There's no one near Myles Garrett and what he can do, but collectively, the 11 plus 2 to 3 guys coming off the bench, collectively, they've created something great over here. And how do you get talent? How do you acquire talent? You move one of your biggest pieces if you are the Cleveland Browns. I don't think Deshaun Watson is going to take it to the promised land. I don't think Shedeur Sanders is going to do it. I don't think there's enough talent over there offensively for these guys to be relevant when it comes to being one of the most potent offenses in the game. So what do? You move one of your biggest pieces. Now the question is, should the Seahawks be interested in that piece?
Last year when we had these conversations heading into the season about guys like Trey Hendrickson and Micah Parsons, I looked at it as though Parsons was going to be a much bigger difference maker, I think, than Hendrickson because he's a little more diversified in his abilities on the field. Trey Hendrickson, not very good against the run. Really good pass rusher when healthy. Unfortunately, had he was banged up a lot last year for Cincinnati in his final year. Did sign a big contract with the Ravens, but we still don't know what Hendrickson's going to look like long term. Garrett, to me, is the best defensive player in football, and that is, I think, something that you should always be open to adding, just simply because you don't have you have the best defense in football, but you also don't have a guy like Myles Garrett on your roster anywhere. Now, he is 30. He turned 30 back in December, so he'll turn 31 this December. So he'll play most of this season at age 30. He signed a really big deal last offseason. I think he's getting paid, like $42 million or $40 million average annual value. So that's a lot of money to be bringing onto your books. But so long as you're not paying Sam Darnold a top-of-the-market salary and so long as you haven't paid Devin Witherspoon yet, I think you can make the numbers work in terms of salary. But again, do you want to risk that. I mean, your defensive line after this year, Bump, there are a lot of question marks as to who's going to be here in 2027. We don't know about Uchenna Nwosu, his long-term prospects here in Seattle. Did get some good news today in that DeMarcus Lawrence was seen at the Seahawks headquarters. So that's good news. That's, I believe, his first report of the offseason. So he's in attendance for today's OTA. Great to see that. But, Leonard Williams is getting up there in age. Jaron Reed's getting up there in age. Derek Hall is not signed beyond this season. You got to have something on that defensive line for next year. Myles Garrett would be a heck of a piece to have, not just this year, but also next year.
In the last 5 seasons, you got Nick Bosa with 55 sacks, Daniel Hunter with 60, Trey Hendrickson with 61, Michael Parsons with 65, T.J. Watt with 65.5, Myles Garrett with 83. That's how good that guy is. And then you got to think about, okay, what are you willing to give up for Myles Garrett?
It's got to be at least a couple first-round draft picks.
The Hawks have up to 12 draft picks in 2027, 12 of them. As it stands right now, 1 first-round pick, but things can change. You never know. So what are you willing to give up? You said it yourself. You said a couple first-round draft picks, you said?
I think that would be the starting price for Myles Garrett. I think the Browns would want whatever the Seahawks have in the first round in 2027 and then probably 2028 as well. Now, when the Jamal Adams trade was made, that was also what the Seahawks gave up for him. I think giving up 2 first-round picks for a player of Myles Garrett's caliber is a much safer bet than giving up 2 first-round picks for a player of Jamal Adams' caliber, even back then when Adams was coming off an all-pro season. Myles Garrett, to me, is just he's already a Hall of Famer, I think, and is the most dominant pass rusher in the league. But one thing that we have learned about Mike Macdonald, Bump, is that he could teach a blind man to rush the passer. Like he gets so much production out of guys that not a lot of people would invest in. You look at his final year in Baltimore, Kyle Van Noy and Jadeveon Clowney, 2 guys that I think were viewed at as sort of, guys who are past their prime, had great years under him. His first year in Seattle, you saw the defensive line make a lot of strides last year. DeMarcus Lawrence, a guy who a lot of people looked at that signing and said, really, they're paying him that kind of money over 3 years? Like, this guy hasn't been fully healthy in 3 or 4 years now. You're going to pay him that kind of contract, and then he has an incredible season for the Seahawks. So you have, I think, a really good teacher of the defensive line, a guy who just can get the most out of that. But boy, when someone who has the talent of Myles Garrett, it'd be really hard to pass up the opportunity to add him.
Well, tell us what you think. 866-979-3776. 509 says be awesome. Look at Green Bay last year. Parsons was a game changer for the Pack. Yeah, the 206 says, I'd give up 5 picks next year for Myles. Then 360 says, selling the farm for a single player almost never works out for teams long term. Youth wins in football. Keep the picks. Keep the talent flow churning.
I think that's a very fair point because you look at what the Seahawks have gotten out of their early round draft picks, dating back to the Devin Witherspoon JSN draft, even the Charles Cross draft the year prior to that. Like, that's how they were able to win the Super Bowl, is by nailing the draft and nailing those early picks. And if you don't have a first-round pick over the next couple of drafts, that's less opportunity to add guys on affordable contracts when you're having to pay the rest of your roster.
Good point. But it's like going to a store knowing you can't afford something, but you're still going to go and look at it.
Right.
You're still going to look at it. You might even try it on.
Yeah. I look good in this, don't I?
Yeah, I wish. That was back in the days, kids. Kids don't do this as much as we used to. Go to the mall and just window shop.
Yeah.
Just look at things that you can't afford, or look at the East Bay magazine and circle shoes that you're not going to get. That's what it feels like to me with Myles Garrett, is that I would love to get this thing done.
You know what's dangerous now that would have been even more dangerous when you and we were teenagers skating through that East Bay magazine is those payment plans, like Affirm,
Yeah.
where you can pay like $5 a month for like a year to pay off like for a jersey or something, and it's like, oh man, you don't want to enter into a payment plan for Myles Garrett where you're paying years after the fact, and all of a sudden it's like, why did I do this?
Yeah. I think,
but I think the return on investment is
pretty
high.
I don't think you would regret it.
No,
I think that you would enjoy watching him do his thing, but you would also think about the future and what could have been, and why it's not going down. So Well,
do you think? You look at the other pass rushers that are on the market. I think Max Crosby is the other one that could potentially get moved during the season. Like, of the two, who would you be more willing to add to this defensive line, Max Crosby or Myles Garrett?
Well, Crosby will be cheaper. And
right, I still think you're giving up a first-round pick.
Yeah,
for him.
And he's a bit older. Crosby is older, isn't he? Isn't he like 31?
I think Crosby's younger. I think he's like 28, 29.
All right, so I would go youth then. I would go youth because you're gonna get a few more years.
He does have the injury concern though.
But Myles Garrett looks like he's gonna play for 20 more years. Just look at it. He's ripped.
Yes, he's built like a movie star.
He looks like he's fresh out of college. Actually, I go to Myles. I go with the best player available. I go to Myles Garrett. Mm-hmm. If you're gonna do it, let's do it.
Yeah. Does Crosby fit the scheme a little better though? Don't you think?
Myles Garrett fits any scheme.
He would, but
scheme.
With everything that Mike asks an edge to do, like, you're dropping into coverage. He likes to have him disguised. You don't know who's coming on a lot of these plays. Like, Myles Garrett is going to be rushing the passer. I don't know. I feel like Max Crosby can do a little more.
I don't know. I don't think either are great at dropping in the space.
Well, that's true.
But a player. Here's the thing: a player like Myles Garrett, you adjust your defense to fit him.
Yes.
You don't bring him in and say, "We need you to do this.
We need you to play this role."
No, you say, "What do you do well?"
Okay.
All right, I got you.
Well, and that's something that McDonald has been really good about, and also really cognizant about is accentuating his player's strengths. Like, he's not going to put a player in a spot where he thinks that might hurt what they do really well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at what he was able to do with Nick Eamon-Worry this last year. What he's been able to do with just a lot of guys on that defense. I think he's exceptional about putting guys in spots where he knows they can succeed.
Yeah, that's exactly. And then I think he said this during our interview. It's hard to tell what we said on air and off air with Julian because we sat back and 5 minutes after the interview just kept talking to him. But Julian said he looks at the guys in the room and adjusts his defense to those guys. Like, what type of talent do I have in that room? How am I going to use it to the best of my ability? Here's what we're going to do. He also said during week 4 last year, Mike McDonald came up to him and said, I can't wait until next spring, all the stuff I'm going to put in. You're in the middle of the season, week 4, and you're already thinking about what you want to do next year because you're looking at your personnel and you're adjusting your defense to your personnel. That's what the great ones do. I'm not going to ask, and I'm sure – you know who we saw drop into coverage a couple years ago and take a pick to the house? Leo.
Yeah.
So every now and then you can drop that big boy into coverage and disguise and confuse these guys. But a guy like Myles Garrett, man, I'm kicking the tires. But I also know that
there is
Myles
a
Garrett,
walk away price. Yeah, there is a point where it's like, all right, that's a little too rich for my blood.
I do. I MC auctions for WSU. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy. Like, a product will get to $16,000. You got two people going back and forth, $16,000. It gets to $16,500 and that person walks away. And I'm like,
you're willing to
you're
spend
already up to $16,000.
You were $500.
That's all. So there's a walkaway price for everybody. It always blows my mind. I'm like, you probably have another couple thousand in you right now if you got up to $16,000. But hey, that's just how it goes. Myles Garrett, man. Looks like the text lines are back and forth. Some say do it, some say don't do it. Let's get to 4-down territory.
This is 4-down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Bump first down. Why do you think the SEC needs to chill out, pump the brakes on separating from the NCAA?
All right, so they're talking about, look, if the NCAA can't figure out NIL, expansion, a whole bunch of other rules, they like the idea of them separating and just doing their own thing. And the president of Georgia said, look, Alabama-Georgia conference championship game drew 8 to 10 million viewers. that's good to go. We should do it, or we could do it. They like the idea of it. But I tell the SEC, you sound like you run college football. That's something that the strongest conference in the game with the most talent says. Now, talent, they got it. They got guys get drafted all the time. But the Big Ten runs football right now. 3 years in a row, they've had the national champion. In men's basketball, they have the national champion. Their record against the SEC is favorable. They're in the plus. They're in the green. It's just now's not the time for all of that. If I'm the Big Ten, I'm the one trying to throw my weight around and say, look, we run college football. If this were 5, 7, 8 years ago, then maybe I'd listen to them. I'm still going to listen to them, and it would seem more realistic, but it's not at this point. Look, your best bet is to play the best competition you can. Your bottom 5 in the SEC ain't it. What we got down there? Vanderbilt, schools like that, either way it goes. The arrogance of the SEC just rubs me the wrong way. Your job as a power forward is to try to create something or try to help the NCAA come up with these solutions and be in the forefront with the Big Ten to try to figure out how to get these rules and regulations so everyone is operating the same. So the idea of you guys leaving sounded good to me 5 years ago. Right now, let's try to make this thing work. Get your 24 or 16 teams in a college football playoff and figure out how to regulate NIL.
Second down. Bump, why is Jackson Dart a perfect example of what an NFL locker room truly is?
NFL locker room is the most diverse place you'll be in the world. I mean, you got 70 to 90 guys, right now 90 guys because of OTAs and guys have in that come from everywhere, every walks of life. So Jackson Dart introduced President Trump at an event. His teammate Abdul Carter did not like it, went on X, voiced his opinions, and now they have to have a meeting and talk about it and hash it out. Sometimes you just got to work with someone you don't necessarily like. Sometimes you don't even pry into their personal life because you know it's going to affect your relationship. I got some friends, I won't talk to them about certain things. I know we're going to fight about it. I'm like, look, I like you 90% of the time. This 10%, I don't like you, so I'm not even going to bring that up. He should be allowed to do whatever he wants to do, Jackson Dart, even if you don't agree with it. It is what it is. But as soon as you walk through that door, you put on the jersey, you put on the helmet, now it's time to go to work. How does he treat you? How does he treat your family? Forget what he believes in, what he doesn't believe in. I'm glad that they hashed it out and everything's all good now. But this is the NFL locker room. All right, and everyone's not going to get along. But you know that on Sundays or Thursdays or Fridays or Saturdays, whenever we're playing now, Wednesday, you got to be able to trust that person regardless of what they believe in. So I thought this was a perfect example for people to realize exactly how diverse an NFL locker room is.
Third down. All right, Bump. What recent roster move shows the Seahawks will leave no stone unturned?
Big move was made. Irv Charles. Folks, Irv Charles. And the reason why it's big is because it shows you that Mike McDonald and John Schneider care about every part of their football team. Offense, defense, and now I'm talking special teams. Irv Charles was an undrafted free agent for the Jets. Messed his knee up, didn't play much last year. In his few years in the league, he's played in 53 offensive snaps, 400 special team snaps. He's a gunner. He has 14 and 15 tackles as a gunner. This move just tells you that they are looking at every possible outcome. We lost Tariq Young. Let's bring a guy in. We lost Tariq Young. Let's draft Emmanuel Henderson. Let's make sure that our special teams is still one of the best units, and not the best unit in football next year. I like this. You look at what they did on defense. You bring in Dante Fowler. You're bringing an offensive coordinator that fits kind of what you did last year. It's just they're always making moves to make their team better. And it doesn't matter how big or how small the move is. It just makes sense. So I like this move from Irv Charles. We'll see if he makes a team or not. Nothing's guaranteed. But the thinking behind it is just what I love, because special teams gets lost sometimes. Sometimes it's just, all right, we'll just fill this role with a linebacker or someone who's already on our roster. No, they say we're going to draft a guy. We're going to go get a guy that can help on special teams right now. Still got to make the team. Nothing's guaranteed. But that just shows you how they cross their T's and dot their I's.
Maybe it's because he shares a last name with Ray Charles, but when the name Irv Charles, when I heard it for the first time, it does sound like a 50s, 1960s
sure
musician.
Does. Yeah, Irv Charles.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I got that Irv Charles record.
Irv Charles,
yeah, that's great.
That vinyl.
Yeah, that vinyl. It's excellent. Fourth down. Which NFC West team is digging themselves into a deeper hole and they cannot afford to?
Arizona, what are y'all doing? I get Jacoby Brissett wants more money, but you don't have a starting quarterback in camp right now in your OTAs. Carson Beck is there. Gardner Minshew is there. I love me some Gardner Minshew, go Cougs, but you can't see him starting a full year for multiple years. He's that guy that comes in, gets you excited, holds it down for 5 or 6 games, then your starter comes in. You need guys like that on your team. Carson Beck, you don't want a rookie start. Jacoby Brissett gives you the best opportunity to win ball games, and you're not going to win much this year. You're not going to win much. So when I saw that Jacoby Brissett has not showed up for OTAs, I laughed at myself because I'm like, Jacoby's for real. He wants to be a starter. Then I laughed, said, Arizona, y'all got to figure something out, because if you roll out week 1 with Minshew or Carson Beck, your season is going to be that much more worse. You have a great running back. Don't wear him out. Arizona Cardinals were picked to finish before the Seahawks or above the Seahawks last year. Let's see what the experts have to say this year. Bottom of the NFC West for sure. That one just made me laugh. All right, got about a half an hour left of the Dad Podcast. When we come back, it is time for Hype Train. That's coming up next. I'm Michael Bumpers. That's Curtis Rogers. This is Bump and Stacy.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle Sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. And if you've been dreaming of that new deck, you got to get a hold of PCF. Call them before the great weather arrives and their schedule gets totally filled up. With a new deck, patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy the outdoors year-round no matter what the weather brings. And for a limited time, how about this? Get 50% off demolition costs up to $5,000 when you book your project with PCF. Contact People Come First Construction Group for all the details. They designed and built our outdoor living space, and we love it. Start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build this summer. Planning, permitting, and construction can take a little time, so get started today. Get project ideas, browse their amazing photos, and look at all the offer details at pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place with People Come First.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now, or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Mariners and Diamondbacks tomorrow at T-Mobile. 7:10 first pitch. Pre-game at 6. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
And we're back. The big headline today. Your Washington Credit Union, WSECU, has done it again.
5 straight years as Forbes' best in-state credit union. That's a dynasty, Rick, like 5 straight championship rings.
Or 5 seasons hitting 400, Steve.
Holy catfish. If you want a team that wins year after year, join your Washington Credit Union, WSECU. Details at WSECU.org.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafee, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. Improve your play with 40% off installation or 0% financing for 60 months with equal payments. And we're giving back with 2 $5,000 scholarships for our local youth sports teams. Upgrade your home today at PellaPNW.com.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Feeling lucky? Don't miss the Lucky Spring Classic collector car, truck, and boat auction. Saturday, June 6th at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Up to 200 collector, vintage, and classic vehicles, many going to the highest lucky bidder with absolutely no reserve. Get lucky, get local, and get in line. Visit luckyoldcar.com for a list and pictures of auction vehicles. Or call 206-467-6531 for bidding and consignment details.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. Nothing beats soaking every night in a saltwater hot spring spa, except getting it for an incredible price during our Summer to Remember rebate event. Save up to $4,500 on the best hot tub you can own. Saltwater soaking, incredible savings, sleeping better, feeling better. What are you waiting for? OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub. This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's the Dad Podcast today and tomorrow. Lucky you. I'm Michael Bumpus with my guy Curtis Rogers. It is now time for Hype Train. All right, this is how this thing works. I throw something out there. Curtis, if you like it, you're on the train. If not, we're off that thing. And you know what? You guys participate too on the text lines. 866-979-3776. If you agree, say, I'm on that train. If not, you say, you know what? We'll let it by. Wait for the next one. Let's get into it. Big game tonight. The Spurs taking on OKC. Do they force a Game 7 with a win tonight? Curtis, you on, you off?
They're fighting for their lives. And look, Wemby did not play well in Game 5, went 4 of 15 from the field, and then also completely ignored his post-game media obligations. Things are not going well when you're doing that. I think, though, he finds his center and helps San Antonio knock off OKC in Game 6, forcing a Game 7, which would be on Saturday, I believe. I think they get it done. We're boarding this train. Also, shout out to Spurs head coach Mitch Johnson, Seattle kid, O'Day, son of legendary Sonic John Johnson. So, yeah, let's go Spurs. Knock off OKC, please.
All right, let's go Cash. Cash, are you on this train? The Spurs force a Game 7 with a win over OKC tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to hop on it. I think that at home, with everything on the line, I got a feeling they're going to get it done. Maybe not in Game 7, but I think they at least force one.
All right, Cash is on. You know what? You know I'm on that thing too, man. On it. The Stacy was here. All aboard.
All aboard.
There she is. Yeah, I think they get it done. I think Wemby has one of his games. Did you see him put out a hit the last game?
On it wasn't on Chet. It was on Hartenstein, right?
Yeah. No, not Hartenstein. It was the little guard that comes off the bench. Guard that comes off the bench.
Jared McCain?
Yes, I think it was Jared McCain, he put a hit out on him. He's like the leader of the mafia right now. So he's not going to have to do that today.
He gives off a vibe of like, I would not want to be on his bad side. He
seems very petty.
He does, and seems like he is out for blood every time. So,
which I can appreciate.
Yeah,
because these new athletes are like, oh, buddies, come over, make a TikTok, let's hang out.
It's like, no, Wemby wants your head on a spike.
Yes. All right. Next up. All right, we just talked about this. This Hawks defense was the best defense in all the world, Craig, last year.
The world, Craig.
And they lost a few pieces, but they gained a few at the same time. Should they pick up this big piece? The Seahawks should trade for Myles Garrett.
I mean, there's no bigger piece out there. Do I think the Seahawks could win the Super Bowl without him? Yes. Do I think they have a better shot at winning the Super Bowl with him? Also, yes. Is it worth it giving up the farm, essentially, basically 2 first-round picks, plus who knows what else it would take to get Myles Garrett in a Seahawks uniform? It may not be worth it, but I would love to see Myles Garrett in a Seahawks uniform. So we're boarding this train. I think they should do it. I think if they went and pulled off that move, then I think it would shut every single one of these national analysts up that say the Rams are better than the Seahawks. You could not say that at that point. It would be the Seahawks as the very best team in all of football. No questions asked if Myles Garrett is a member of the Seahawks organization.
If Myles Garrett is a member of the Seahawks, does the national narrative change where people are always putting the Rams in front of the Hawks?
It has to.
Right?
It has to. That's a much more impactful trade than Trent McDuffie, I think.
I agree. Cash?
I agree with Curtis on that. Yeah, obviously, you get Myles Garrett and you become that much better, but selling the farm when I think that Mike and John really have done such a good job of using those early round picks to create some really, really good players. I mean, John over the last couple of years, like JSN, Spoon, and then even like trading up for Freeman Morey. Like when you have that capital, I just trust John and Mike to get it done without Myles Garrett. We just saw him do it last year, so I just feel like they'd be asking too much. And how old is he now? He's got to be 30.
30, yeah. Just turned 30.
Well, that's fine for an edge rusher, but I don't know. I think we got it done. But I do agree, edge is definitely a concern past this year. But I don't know if you solve it by selling the farm. So I'm going to be off this one.
All right. So I think obviously with Myles Garrett on that squad, I think you're already the best defense coming into this year, regardless of who you lost, because of Mike McDonald, some of the additions, and it's how I believe in what he's doing. With Myles Garrett, there's absolutely no doubt that this team can be contenders again. This is tough because, you know what? I believe that Schneider McDonald can do it in the later drafts. Like, I believe a Julian Neal is going to be a key factor in this defense. Mm-hmm. A little later pick, right?
Right.
As long as you have your third, fourth, fifth rounders, we're good. Let's get crazy. Let's do it. I'm on this train. Go get Myles Garrett.
That's the kind of move that I feel like a new owner would make, just to kind of like make their presence known. Like, yeah, this is my team now. I'm going out and getting Myles Garrett. Not to say that it's going to happen, but I feel like that would be something that
let's get crazy.
A very egocentric owner would do. Just like, yeah, biggest name available. Bring him here.
That's like me staying up past 10 o'clock on a weekday. Let's get crazy. Let's get crazy.
I would never stay up past 10 o'clock on a weekday. Oh man, I'd be awful coming into work the next day.
So tired. I've done it a couple of times because I'm like kids, obligations and stuff. Right. And oh my God, worst shows I've ever done. All right, next up. The Mariners get a series victory over the red hot Diamondbacks. They've won, 9 out of 10 or something like that?
Yeah, 9 out of 10. I think the Diamondbacks are frauds because it's coming against the Rockies and the Giants. I think they're a good team, but the Mariners, I think, are much more talented than both San Francisco and the Rockies are. Yes, the Mariners have a record under 500, but we saw how good they can be in their last 3 games. I think they continue that momentum in this series against the Diamondbacks. They take at least 2 of 3 from the D-backs, and they have a winning record. I think that would make it a winning record, or no. They'd be 500 at the end of this weekend if you take at least 2 of 3 from them. So, yeah, we're boarding this train. Mariners get a series dub against the D-backs.
Here we go. All right, Cash, they get her done or what?
Yeah, I think they do. It's hard to doubt that after what we saw in this last series. I think they're finally going to catch their stride and kind of, I mean, I'm hoping it can be, everybody's talked about, all they need is to string together a couple wins and they can start kind of running away with the division that's been pretty disappointing all around. Hopefully this is the time. And then they'll get Cal back and it'll be awesome. And yeah, I am going to board it as well.
All right. This is an easy one. Yeah, they're going to get it done. They're going to get it done. I think that sometimes all you need is a series is to spark this team and get performances out of guys. So, yes, I'm on this. The Mariners get a series victory. There Stacy is. All aboard. Last one real quick. Sunday is the last time we see Bryce Miller and Luis Castillo make a piggyback start. Love that word. Tired of that word.
We're boarding this train. Yeah, I think I boarded all of them. I think this is the last time we see Bryce Miller and Luis Castillo make a piggyback start. I think everyone is tired of it. I think the Mariners are tired of it. Pick one. You can't pick both. Give me somebody, and I think Bryce Miller is that somebody. So I think Sunday is the last time we see it.
All right, is this the last time we see it, Cash?
Well, I mean, for how many times I have to write it for podcast descriptions, I hope so. I've typed piggyback like 50 times in the last couple of days.
Make it 51.
Yeah, I do. I think it's probably the last time. Again, I think there's just so much controversy around it now. I just think they're going to be over it as well. So yeah, I will board this train.
This is not the only train. One of the trains I'm not boarding because what do you do? What do you do if you don't piggyback? That stresses me out thinking about it. Who do you move around? Who goes to the bullpen? 6-man rotation. What do you do? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say they give it one more try after this. All right, that was Hype Train presented by Curtis Rogers Cash and Michael Bumpus. Coming up next, we got What I Need to Know. Get your questions in. You got the Dad Podcast. Ask us anything. Sports related, not sports related. It does not matter. The number is 866-979-3776. What I Need to Know coming up next.
Have you downloaded the Seattle Sports app?
We're going to have a challenge right here.
What are you waiting for?
Listen to this.
Every pitch.
Here comes the 3-2.
Every game.
Swung on and missed. Got him.
One app for free.
How about that, folks?
The Seattle Sports app. Every game.
Julio racing back.
Right in the palm of your hands.
Makes a leap and makes the catch.
Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
They got it. Wow.
The Seattle Sports app.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
On October 3rd, Snohomish PUD is hosting the first ever Community Energy Run at the Water Operations Center in Lake Stevens, located on the scenic Centennial Trail. It's a family-friendly 5K where every step supports the Community Energy Fund, helping local families keep the lights on when times get tough. Join the Community Energy Run on October 3rd. Learn more at snowpud.com davis.com/run.
30 years ago, Davis Law Group was founded to be the best law firm for our clients and our community. Our core values are to win, help, and serve. It means our success is defined by the difference we make in our clients' lives and the impact we can have in our community. Not by giant settlement checks or shiny offices. Our mission to lift up the vulnerable extends beyond the courtroom to our charity partners, promoting safety, uplifting students, accident victims, foster youth, and the elderly. If you've been injured and want better results for your claim and for all of Washington, call Davis Law Group today.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. No guessing, just answers. Over 100,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Take control and protect your long-term health by knowing your numbers. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Feel better. Live stronger. Start now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Mariners and Diamondbacks tomorrow at T-Mobile. 7:10 first pitch. Pregame at 6. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55-plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important, trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
This is what I need to know. Get your questions in. Ask us anything. The number 866-979-3776. I like this first one. Stacy would love this first one.
Oh, yeah.
Dad Pod, what's one thing you know about Stacy that doesn't ever get showcased on air but is really cool about her? And no, this isn't Stacy.
Doesn't get showcased on the air, but is cool about her?
It's cool about Stacy. It does. I feel like she lets it all out on air.
Right. I would say she's the most stylish person in the office.
Yeah. She don't
Which
really
you can't really see because you were only like the neck up, basically.
Yeah, and I think she's very clean. Like, I see pictures of her apartment.
Right, everything's
always
in
in place.
Yeah, there's
always in
not
place.
not a pillow that is unfluffed. Nothing.
Do you imagine? She probably, if I walked in her with my shoes on, she'd probably lose her mind.
I think so.
She'd lose her mind. What I need to know: who's your favorite Mariner as a person, not necessarily the player?
Mariner as a person.
I interviewed Spire. I really like Spire.
Yeah,
he's got that dog in him.
Luke Raley and I have bonded over Survivor in the past.
Okay.
We held court for like 15 minutes one time, just talking Survivor game strategy. It was great. It was the best. I could tell he was really looking forward to that conversation too. So yeah, Luke Raley's he's also a really good interview too if you get the chance to talk to him.
425 says after Bump said 2 more piggybacks, he said it 5 times now. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I have to say it. What I need to know, not that it has to do with anything, but what's the M's record this season when Rick Riz is the lead radio host? I don't know.
Couldn't tell you.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
I don't know. Grab one, Curtis.
I do kind of keep track of my personal win-loss record when I'm on pre and post. I think I've only lost 3 times this year.
Nice.
I believe I have a winning record as of now. I did yesterday's pre and post or post game at least. So
there we go.
Yeah.
What I need to know: you can only live off of one style of food forever and can't have anything else. Which one are you choosing? Easy for me, Mexican food all day. And then someone tried to ruin Mexican food for me, but I didn't let them because they said, Bump, it's the same ingredients, just wrapped differently,
just folded
dressed differently. I go, you're right, but you're wrong. All right, taco tastes different than a burrito, tastes different than nachos, tastes different than enchiladas. I don't care.
I mean, Italian is a lot of noodles.
Mm-hmm.
It's great though. There's pizza. There's all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I think I might go Mexican as well.
Yeah.
You can't miss.
Can't miss it, man. 425 says, Bump, your sickest end zone catch. What's crazy about that is I was playing in a league I didn't even want to play in. I was in the CFL, and it's still to this day the nastiest touchdown I've ever had in my life. I'm running a deep cross against the Rough Riders of Saskatchewan, and I get face masked, and dive in the end zone and still make the catch. It was stupid.
Wow.
Ridiculous. Shouldn't have made that catch. Got lucky. What I need to know: what can a young player learn from a vet player that they can't learn from a coach?
I've never been there, but I imagine just kind of how to handle yourself in the day-to-day of it all. I mean, it's a lot of coaches have not been in the same spot that their players have been in. Like Mike McDonald never played in the NFL. He couldn't tell you what life is like exactly as an NFL player, but I'm sure like Leonard Williams could teach a few guys then too.
Yeah. I would say just the little things like dealing with extracurricular activity during the season. Finances with relatives. These people are going to ask you for some money. I feel like the life lessons that millionaires get or have to go through that a lot of people just don't understand. What I need to know: who has a better chance of stepping into a starting role, Clark or Neal? I'd probably say Clark.
Yeah.
But Ty Okada ain't going nowhere. Thomas ain't going nowhere. But for me, it's Clark.
I think so too. I think with Kobe Bryant's departure and, like you said, Ty Okada being there, it could potentially leave the door open for it. But Clark, with his 15 career interceptions, like that's pretty exciting to see that high of a turnovers number, especially with a DB coming into the league. I think he's got a better shot than Julian Neal.
Yeah.
Not to say that Julian Neal won't see the field, but I think Bud Clark is. I think he's going to be pushing for a starting job soon.
At least earlier, right?
Yeah.
I think so too. What I need to know. I'm not going to read that one. What I need to know: why do you guys even cover the NBA seriously? Why?
Because you, the listener, are going to want to be up to speed when the NBA comes back. You're not going to want to be playing catch up when the Sonics are back playing ball at Climate Pledge Arena, hopefully in 2028. We're doing you a favor.
You're welcome.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Send me a thank you card later.
Yeah.
What I need to know, chili cheese fries or chili dog? Ooh. I'm going with the fries.
I'm going to go chili dog.
Yeah. I can see why.
Yeah.
I can see why.
I love a glizzy, sure.
A glizzy you got to eat with a fork?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's how you know they're hooking you up with all the extra stuff on it. What I need to know, how much would 2026 freshman Bump be making in NIL? At least a couple mil. Why'd you bring that up? You take care of my family on a different level right now.
You might not even be here.
Might
You've
not
got
even
some of that
be
NIL
here.
money.
What? I might just be here, a contributor, twice a week, hop on. Tell me the reason why batters do not get the green light every time on a 3-0 pitch.
A walk is a possibility on a 3-0. I get that the pitcher is likely going to try to throw a strike, but there's a almost certain benefit to taking 3-0 rather than swinging away and grounding out. Feels like most pitches people swing at in baseball, there's a high probability of getting it out. So you're just protecting yourself in that instance.
I remember when I was a kid, that was my training, was that you never swing at a 3-0 pitch. And then I saw my favorite player at the time, Rowland-Smith, swing at a 3-0 pitch. I'm like, what are you doing? Then he goes yard. And then the skip, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name at this time.
Tommy Lasorda?
Tommy Lasorda, yeah. Got in him in the dugout and then gave him a hug. So, yeah. You got something, Curtis?
Oh, how about this one? What I need to know, should I get a camera to record people throwing trash in our apartment dumpster? I see people all the time who don't live here bringing their garbage, contractors included. I want to ask our apartment to secure them since I don't want to pay for others' garbage. Now, is the garbage that others are throwing away into this dumpster making it impossible for you then to put your garbage in? Because I feel if it's like a community dumpster for a bunch of units, then it's super hard to tell whose garbage belongs to who.
If it's making your process harder, throw the cameras up and get them.
Sure.
But if it's doing nothing to inconvenience you, who cares? I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, we used to live in a place where they had a big trash compactor, but it would get to a point where we'd have to pile up bags in front of it because there was just so much. And I was like, the garbage man will take care of it.
We got it.
Yeah.
We got people for that. All right, it's been real. That's the Dad Podcast. Curtis Rogers filling in for Stacy. We'll be back tomorrow with the Dad Podcast. Coming up next, we got Wyman and Bob.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Summer's supposed to be fun. When the kids are home all day, the groceries, they add up fast. G. Scott here with a quick heads up from Safeway. There's a program called Sunbucks that gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically and will get a card in the mail. Others need to apply. Take a minute to check. It could really help put food on the table for your family. Head to freesummermeals.org to find out more. That's freesummermeals.org.
The throw to first, and it's in time. Holy smokes, what a play by J.P. Crawford.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But if you're looking for a truly golden view, look no further than the seats on the first baseline, a.k.a. Trident Town. Post up behind the Mariners dugout, and you get a great view of Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, and our entire rotation at work.
Swing and a miss. Fastball upstairs, blew it by him, strike three.
Not to mention the best view of the best home run celebration in baseball. When the Trident goes up, you know a party's going down.
It is gone! Julio!
Mariners baseball. Trident Self.
Don't miss two great interleague matchups at T-Mobile Park. The next Mariners homestand starts tomorrow with a 3-game set against Corbin Carroll and the D-backs. Then the action continues as Juan Soto and the Mets come to town Monday, June 1st through Wednesday, June 3rd. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring